Dear friends, are you ready to rest? Not just your body, but your mind. Let the timeless wisdom of the Buddha guide your heart home. Tonight, let us take a slow step inward, not toward a destination, but towards stillness. A quiet home inside you that has always been waiting. For so long you've been running, from deadlines, from noise, from the invisible pressure to be more. But peace doesn't come from crossing a finish line. It comes when you remember that there was never a race. So tonight, I invite you to let go. Let go of the idea that you need to reach anything. Let go of the thought that peace is somewhere else. Right here, in this very breath, peace is quietly breathing beside you. Imagine yourself sitting under a great Bodhi tree. The night air is cool, and moonlight falls gently on your shoulders. You don't need to understand anything. You don't need to force your mind to be still. Just breathe and listen. Each breath is a doorway, a soft invitation to come home to yourself. When you breathe in, feel the world enter you. When you breathe out, feel your worries leave like smoke dissolving in the wind. For thousands of years, the Buddha's teachings have guided restless hearts through the storm of thought and desire. They were never meant to be rigid rules or heavy doctrines. They are gentle reminders, whispers that say, "You are already enough." So tonight, let these words drift through you like soft moonlight on quiet water. Let the rhythm of your breath carry them deeper. You don't have to fix, to plan, or to change anything. You only have to be here. If this calm feels like a home you've been missing, you're welcome to return whenever the world feels too heavy to hold. And if you wish, you may subscribe and join our circle of calm souls, so that each time you need rest, a gentle reminder will be waiting. Now, as your body softens and your breathing slows, let us begin our journey. A journey not through places, but through awareness itself. Every restless night begins in the same way. A quiet war between what is and what we wish it to be. Your mind replays a conversation, a decision, a regret, as if turning it over one more time could change its shape. But peace doesn't come from control. It comes from seeing clearly. The Buddha called this dukkha, often translated as suffering, but perhaps better understood as friction. Friction happens when two surfaces rub against each other. It's the heat between expectation and reality. In life, we experience that same heat. We want things to go our way, but they don't. We want people to stay, but they leave. We want certainty, but the world keeps shifting beneath our feet. That friction isn't punishment. It's the sound of awakening, the call of the heart reminding us. Maybe the way we've been trying isn't the only way. When the Buddha first left his palace, he wasn't seeking enlightenment. He was seeking understanding. Why does the human heart suffer, even in comfort? He saw sickness, old age, and death, and realized that no amount of wealth or success could protect us from life's impermanence. And yet that realization wasn't despair, it was compassion. He saw that everyone shares the same fragile condition. We are all walking each other home through the same uncertain world. Think about how it feels in our modern lives. You check your phone before bed, scroll through endless updates, and still feel like you're missing something. That's dukkha, not pain caused by life itself, but by our resistance to life as it is. You might think, if only I had more time, more money, more love, then I'd rest. But the truth is, peace begins not in addition, but in subtraction. Every time you release the need to control what can't be controlled, you become lighter. You remember that your worth isn't measured by your productivity, but by your presence. When a thought comes, about tomorrow, about the past, see it not as an enemy to silence, but as a visitor to greet. Each thought says, "Notice me." You can smile at it and say, "I see you," and then let it pass. Every emotion, every tension in the body is just the mind trying to protect you. Even anxiety is love in disguise, a part of you that's afraid of being hurt again. So instead of fighting it, Breathe compassion into it. Whisper, "You are safe now." To rest deeply is not to escape life, but to meet it fully, without resistance. When we stop running from what we feel, we see that peace isn't something we gain. It's what remains when we stop clinging. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Peace is every step." It turns the endless path into joy. So tonight, each breath you take is a step of peace. Each pause is a soft doorway into freedom. You are not broken, not behind, not less. You are simply remembering your true rhythm. Close your eyes. Feel your body supported by the bed, by the earth beneath it. Feel how gravity holds you without effort. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Breathe in. The cool air entering your nose. Breathe out. The warmth of release. With each exhale, the world softens. With each inhale, awareness expands. Your thoughts may wander. That's okay. The Buddha once said, "Just as rain fills a river drop by drop, so wisdom grows from patient attention." So every time you notice a thought and return to your breath, you are watering the seed of awakening. The world will always move fast, but your peace doesn't depend on its pace. It depends on your ability to return, again and again, to the quiet space inside. So tonight, as you drift into sleep, remember this truth. You do not have to chase calm. You only have to stop running from it. Let the night hold you gently. Let the breath guide you home. And as your mind softens, know that peace was never something to find. It was who you were all along. As your breath settles into a calm rhythm, imagine a quiet lake under the moonlight. The surface is still, reflecting the silver glow of the night sky. Every ripple that once danced across it has faded into stillness. That lake is your mind when you stop trying to control the water. You don't need to chase calmness. You just need to stop stirring the surface. Beneath every wave, there is always silence waiting. In this quiet, feel the tenderness of your own existence. You are breathing, sensing, alive. Each moment that rises and falls is a miracle too easily forgotten. The Buddha once said that a single moment of awareness is worth more than a lifetime of forgetfulness. Tonight, that awareness is awakening within you, not as an effort, but as a remembering. You might notice thoughts that still drift in like small clouds. Let them pass. You might feel emotions that tremble softly beneath your chest. Let them speak and let them fade. Healing does not mean you never feel pain again. It means you are no longer afraid to feel it. In this openness, peace quietly blooms, like a lotus rising through the mud, unsoiled by what it grew from. Now imagine a faint light above your head, a soft, golden glow. With each breath, it grows brighter, warmer, kinder. It travels down through your shoulders, your heart, your belly, your legs. With every exhale, the light expands beyond your body, touching everything around you with gentleness. This is not imagination, it's recognition. The light you see is the same awareness that has always been here. You're simply noticing it again. So rest, dear one. You have nothing to fix, nowhere to go, no identity to hold on to tonight. Just let the light breathe you. Let the earth cradle you. Feel how the night loves you enough to take away your worries, one breath at a time. And as you drift deeper into this ocean of calm, know this truth. Peace is not the absence of motion, but the absence of struggle. The world will keep turning, the mind will keep whispering, but you are free to stop resisting. You are free to rest. In this stillness, we begin to see more clearly the nature of our hearts, how friction arises, and how within that friction lies the doorway to freedom. The friction within. As you rest beneath this gentle night sky, the surface of your mind begins to ripple again. A small wave of memory appears. a conversation you wish had gone differently, a decision that still weighs on your chest, a fragment of worry that refuses to fade. The calm lake of your being, once still and silent, now trembles with movement. This is how the mind reveals its nature, through endless motion. And yet, this movement is not a mistake. It is the invitation to understanding. Each wave carries the same lesson. What we resist persists. The Buddha called this subtle tension dukkha, often translated as suffering, though it is more like friction. Friction is what happens when life meets our expectations and they do not fit. It is the rubbing of desire against reality. It is the small ache that says, "I wish things were different." You feel it when the phone doesn't ring, when someone you love grows distant, when your reflection in the mirror looks a little more tired than yesterday. You feel it in the quiet frustration of traffic, in the heaviness of news headlines, in the longing for something more, though you cannot name what it is. This friction lives not outside of you, but within you. It hums beneath the surface of every thought that begins with, "if only." The first noble truth is not meant to make you sad. It is meant to make you awake. To recognize suffering is to stop pretending that life should always please you. It's the courage to look at reality without the filter of should. And from that honesty, compassion grows. When Siddhartha, the prince who would become the Buddha, left his palace, he did not seek to escape pain. He sought to understand it. Surrounded by luxury, he still felt the restlessness of the heart. When he saw sickness, aging, and death for the first time, he saw the universal pattern of life. Everything changes, everything passes, and everything we cling to will one day slip away. But within that realization, something miraculous happened. He did not fall into despair. He woke up, because when you see that impermanence is universal, you also see that suffering connects us all. You and I, the trees and rivers, every living being, we are bound by the same fragile thread. From this shared vulnerability arises the softest form of love, compassion. In modern life, friction wears a different face. It looks like stress, anxiety, exhaustion. We run faster, work harder, scroll longer, trying to outpace discomfort. We fill every silence with sound, every stillness with distraction. We convince ourselves that busyness is safety, yet inside the friction grows. We are exhausted not because we do too much, but because we resist too much. Think about it. How often do you lie awake replaying what went wrong, what might happen next, or what you should have done differently? Every should is a spark of friction. Every if only is the mind trying to rewrite what already is. But peace doesn't come from rewriting the story. It comes from closing the book for a while and realizing you were never just the character. You were the reader all along. When friction arises, most people respond with two instincts: fight or flee. We either try to control everything, tightening our grip until our knuckles ache, or we run, numbing ourselves with noise, comfort, or distraction. Both lead to more suffering. But there is a third way, the way of seeing. Seeing doesn't mean analyzing. It means witnessing gently. When a thought of regret comes, you don't have to wrestle it. You can watch it, you can say softly, "Ah, here you are again." When anger rises, you don't have to suppress it. You can bow to it. "Thank you for showing me where I still hold pain." This is the art of mindful friction. To use tension as a teacher, not an enemy, the same way a match creates fire when struck. Friction can illuminate the truth when met with awareness. Imagine holding a stone in your hand. Its surface is rough, jagged, uncomfortable. At first you want to drop it, but if you rub it gently, over time, it becomes smooth. The roughness has not vanished. It has transformed. So too with our pain. When met with mindfulness, it polishes the soul. The Buddha taught that suffering is not personal. It is part of the human design. Just as the sea has waves, the mind has craving. The waves are not flaws in the ocean, they are expressions of its movement. The problem is not that waves exist, but that we try to stop them. Let your waves rise and fall. Watch how they form and fade. Notice how even the biggest emotion begins, peaks and passes. When you stop identifying with the wave, you remember that you are the ocean. The wave cannot drown the sea. There's a story from Zen tradition about a monk who was sweeping the temple courtyard. A visitor asked, "Why do you sweep every day if the leaves keep falling?" The monk smiled and said, "Because the wind never stops." Life is like that. Never finished, never perfect, and never meant to be. To live is to keep sweeping with love. So when you notice tension in your body, the tightness in your chest, the weight behind your eyes, breathe into it, not away from it. Whisper, "It's okay to feel this." That sentence alone is an act of liberation. The moment you stop rejecting the present moment, friction turns into warmth. The Buddha once said, "There is no fire like passion, no grip like hatred, no snare like delusion." But he also said, "There is no river like understanding. Understanding cools the fire. Understanding loosens the grip. Understanding breaks the snare, and understanding begins with one gentle truth. Suffering is not against you, it is for you. Every difficult moment is trying to teach you how to return home. Now, breathe slowly. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the heart. Feel the air travel through your body. This is life itself, moving through you without resistance. The body breathes, you simply allow it. The heart beats, you simply feel it. Even this simplicity is sacred. As you breathe, imagine standing in the rain. At first you resist. The drops are cold, unexpected, but after a while you realize the rain was never against you. It was always washing you clean. Friction, when met with awareness, becomes cleansing. It burns away illusion, softens pride, and reveals humility, the kind that bows to what is. This is why suffering, though painful, is holy. It awakens the wisdom that comfort could never teach. There is a small story told by a teacher in the forest monasteries of Thailand. A young monk once complained, "Every time I meditate, my mind runs wild. I cannot stop the noise." The teacher smiled and said, "The sound you hear is not the enemy. It is the bell calling you to listen deeper." Every irritation, every heartbreak, every fear is that bell. It says, "Come closer, do not run." Inside this discomfort is your awakening. So tonight, as you lie here, if your mind starts to wander, if restlessness returns, let it. There's no failure in feeling uneasy. There's only the invitation to notice. This is how transformation begins. Not in perfection, but in permission. You may whisper quietly to yourself, "I allow this moment to be as it is." That simple phrase is the antidote to all friction. It's not surrendering in defeat. It's surrendering in wisdom. You no longer need to win against life. You only need to be with it. Rest now in this awareness. Soft, spacious, forgiving. You are learning the secret of peace, that it does not arrive when problems end, but when resistance ends. And as the night deepens, imagine again the lake within you. The surface still ripples, but you no longer fear it. You understand it now. Each ripple is just a reflection of life's movement, not a sign of loss. Tomorrow, we will explore another current within this vast ocean, the fleeting sweetness of joy, and how even happiness, when clung to, becomes a cause of restlessness. But for now, let the waves settle, let the friction fade into warmth. Feel the body resting, the heart softening, the breath guiding you gently back to stillness. There is nothing to fix. There is only this quiet knowing that even within the storm, peace has never left you. Sleep, dear one. You have already begun the path. When joy fades, the night deepens, and somewhere between your breath and the rhythm of your heartbeat, a memory begins to glow. A time when you felt truly happy. Maybe it was a morning filled with laughter, or a quiet moment when sunlight touched your face. For a heartbeat, everything made sense. You were alive, content, whole. But soon after, that joy slipped away, like water through your hands. You tried to hold it, to keep it a little longer, but the tighter you gripped, the faster it vanished. This is how joy fades. Not because it betrays us, but because it was never meant to stay. Every feeling, even the sweetest one, moves like clouds across the open sky. And yet, we keep chasing them, believing that if we could only catch one cloud and keep it, we'd finally be safe. The Buddha once said, "Whatever has the nature to arise will also cease." He wasn't warning us, he was freeing us, because in truth, impermanence is not cruelty. It is mercy. It teaches us to love deeply, knowing nothing can be possessed. Think about the last time you laughed so hard you cried, or the first time someone held your hand. That moment existed only because it ended. Its beauty lived inside its fragility. If everything lasted forever, nothing would ever move you. The sunrise only stirs your heart because you know it won't last. The song only matters because it will end. Impermanence is not the thief of joy. It is the reason joy means anything at all. Still, the mind resists this truth. It clings. It whispers, "I want this moment forever." We cling to the people we love, to the places we once felt alive, to the versions of ourselves that made us proud. We take photos, we replay memories, we build shrines in our hearts for what has already gone. And in that clinging, friction returns, because we are asking life to stand still while it was designed to flow. There's a story told in many Buddhist temples about a man who owned a beautiful glass cup. Every day, he admired its shine, its clarity, its perfection. One morning, his teacher said, "Before you drink from that cup, remember, it is already broken." The man was confused until one day the cup did fall and shattered into pieces. In that moment, he understood. Knowing it was already broken didn't make him love it less. It made him love it more. The same is true of everything you hold dear. The people you love, the home you cherish, the body you live in, all of them are already broken. But this truth is not sad, it's sacred. When you know something will change, you begin to treat it with tenderness. You stop taking it for granted. You say thank you more often. You forgive more quickly. You become present. Modern life tries to hide impermanence. We edit away our wrinkles, update our phones, replace what ages. We are told to chase forever, as if endlessness were the highest form of beauty. But the Buddha saw beauty in the opposite, in the fleeting, the imperfect, the real. He compared life to a dewdrop trembling on a blade of grass at dawn. It shines brilliantly, but only for a moment. And in that brief existence lies its entire miracle. So if you've ever felt the ache that follows happiness, that strange sadness after joy, know that nothing is wrong with you. It's simply your heart remembering that all things flow. When joy fades, it's not punishment. It's the natural rhythm of being alive. Like the ocean's tide, joy comes and goes. What matters is not the wave, but the awareness that watches it rise and fall. There was once a young painter who adored color. Every morning, he mixed bright pigments, golds, reds, blues, to capture the beauty of the world. But one day, he realized that no matter how vivid his colors, they would always fade with time. Heartbroken, he stopped painting. Years later, an old monk found him and said, "Perhaps the fading is the art itself. What if the beauty of the color lies in its disappearance?" That night, the painter returned to his canvas, not to preserve color, but to celebrate its vanishing. In this same way, our lives are brushstrokes on the vast canvas of time. Each moment we live, love, and lose adds depth to the masterpiece. If everything stayed the same, the painting would be flat. Change gives it life. You might ask, but if everything fades, how can I trust anything? The answer is simple. You don't have to trust permanence. You can trust presence. When you are fully here, in this breath, this heartbeat, this sound of night, life reveals its perfection, even as it changes. What's real is not the moment you try to hold, but the awareness that witnesses it all. Take a breath. Feel it enter and leave. Proof of impermanence in every second. Each inhale is birth, each exhale is death, and between them lies the miracle of being. If you can love the breath even as it leaves, you can love everything as it changes. Sometimes, joy fades, not because of time, but because of fear. We feel happy and immediately think, this won't last. The mind turns blessing into burden. It cannot rest inside peace. It must analyze, predict, control. But the practice of mindfulness teaches a new way: to enjoy without attachment, to hold without gripping. When happiness arrives, smile. When it leaves, bow. Gratitude is the bridge that lets you cross from joy to peace. You can try it now. Recall something that once made you happy. A moment, a person, a sound. Feel it fully. Then whisper quietly, "Thank you for visiting." Notice how gratitude softens the loss. It transforms fading into blessing. This is the secret of the awakened heart. It doesn't need permanence to love. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Thanks to impermanence, everything is possible." The seed becomes a flower because it doesn't stay a seed. The child grows because time passes. Even sorrow transforms because nothing is fixed. Impermanence is not the end of joy. It is the doorway to renewal. If you listen closely, you can hear impermanence in everything. In the cicadas that sing and fall silent. In the city lights that fade before dawn. In the seasons that turn without apology. It is the gentle voice of the universe saying, "Let go." Let go, not to lose, but to receive again in a new form. The Japanese art of kintsugi repairs broken pottery with veins of gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are illuminated. The piece becomes more beautiful because of its imperfection. The same is true of you. Every heartbreak, every goodbye, every fading joy. They are the golden seams of your becoming. So tonight, if something in your heart feels like it's slipping away, don't fight it. Whisper, "Go in peace." Let it dissolve like a candle melting into light. Your letting go is not a loss. It's a return to what was always whole beneath the change. Now, imagine the Bodhi tree once more. The leaves move gently in the wind. Each one falls, dances, disappears into the soil. The tree does not mourn them. It knows that new leaves will grow. It knows that nothing truly ends. It only transforms. As you breathe, feel that same wisdom inside you. You've lost things, you've loved and let go, and yet here you are, still breathing, still radiant, still capable of love. You are living proof that impermanence doesn't destroy. It renews. Rest now in that understanding. Rest in the rhythm of gain and loss, rise and fall, day and night. Everything changes, and that is what allows everything to live. And as your body softens, imagine tomorrow's dawn, the first golden light stretching across the horizon. It touches the earth, the trees, the roofs, and finally your face. The light does not ask the night to stay, it simply arrives. In the same way, peace returns when you stop asking the past to remain. In the next part of our journey, we will look deeper into this truth, how the art of impermanence can turn pain into beauty and endings into beginnings. But for now, let yourself rest inside this gentle truth. Nothing stays, and yet, nothing is ever lost. You are held by the same flow that carries the stars across the sky. Let it move through you. Let it carry you home. Sleep softly, dear one. The night breathes with you. the river and the sky. The night is quiet again, and in the stillness, the sound of a river returns. You can almost hear it, soft, patient, eternal. The same river that once slipped through your fingers now calls you to listen. Its water moves without hesitation, without fear of where it's going. It doesn't ask, "What will happen when I reach the sea?" It simply flows. You sit beside this river in your mind. The moonlight touches the surface, turning each ripple into silver light. The current whispers a secret. Nothing in me stays the same, and yet I am still the river. If you stay long enough, you begin to understand. This isn't just the nature of water, it's the nature of you. The Buddha once asked his students, if a person stands on the bank of a river and the water passes by, can it ever be said to be the same river as before? They said no, and he smiled. In the same way, he said, the body, feelings, perceptions, thoughts and consciousness are all like flowing water, constantly arising and passing away. What we call self is not a fixed thing. It's a process, a dance of moments. Most of our suffering comes from forgetting that. We spend our lives trying to define ourselves, to decide who we are and make it stay that way. We say, I am this, or I am not that, as if identity were a stone. But identity is closer to a stream. It moves, shifts, and reshapes itself with every experience. When we cling to an idea of who we should be, we resist life. When we let ourselves flow, we return to truth. There's a moment every person experiences, standing in front of a mirror and not recognizing the face staring back. When did I change? We wonder. But you haven't changed. You've evolved. The river is not the same as it was yesterday, yet it's still the river. Your body, your thoughts, your emotions, all have moved like water. And still, something silent within you watches the current. That watcher, that pure awareness, is like the sky above the river, vast, open, and untouched. Look up now, in your mind's eye. The same moon that shines on the river rests high in the sky. It doesn't move with the water. It simply reflects its light. The sky does not cling to the clouds, nor fear their passing. It allows every shape, every storm, every clearing to exist within its expanse. You too are that sky, spacious, unbroken, infinite. The thoughts, emotions, and memories that pass through you are the clouds. They come and go, but they are not who you are. We live our days chasing the clouds, trying to hold on to joy, push away sorrow, predict tomorrow's weather. But in truth, we are not the weather. We are the space that holds it. The art of peace lies not in controlling the sky, but in remembering we are the sky. This is what the Buddha meant by non-self. He wasn't denying your existence. He was freeing it. To see that there is no fixed I is to realize that you are connected to everything. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean, temporarily experiencing itself as a drop. Think about how water moves. It takes the shape of everything it touches, a cup, a bowl, a stream, a cloud, and yet remains unchanged in essence. When heated, it becomes vapor. When cooled, it becomes ice. No matter what form it takes, it is still water. So it is with your being. You are not just the form, the job title, the name, the story. You are the essence that moves through every form, adapting, changing, becoming. But the ego resists this truth. It says, I must be someone. I must stand out. I must control who I am. And so we tighten around our identities, fearful that change will erase us. Yet what if change doesn't erase you? What if it reveals you? Like the river carving its path through stone, every shift shapes you closer to your natural form. In moments of silence, notice how your thoughts flow. A memory arises, a conversation, a mistake, a wish, then it dissolves. Another appears, then fades. If you try to hold them, they tangle like weeds in the current. But if you let them move, they clean themselves. The river doesn't fight to be clear, it becomes clear by flowing. Try this gentle awareness now. Breathe in and imagine the river entering you, cool, clean, alive. Breathe out and feel it leave, taking with it the sediment of worry, judgment, self-criticism. Each breath is the river cleansing your mind. Each pause is the still surface reflecting the sky. Sometimes life feels like turbulence, rough currents, crashing waves, confusion. We ask, why is this happening to me? But what if life isn't happening to you, but through you? The river never questions the rocks it meets. It simply curves, adjusts, and keeps flowing. In time, even the hardest stone is shaped by its persistence. So it is with you. Every obstacle, every heartbreak, every loss is not there to stop you, but to polish you into clarity. There's a parable of two monks walking along a riverbank. They see a woman waiting, unable to cross. One monk carries her across, then sets her down safely on the other side. Hours later, the second monk says, "I can't believe you touched a woman. We monks should avoid that." The first monk smiles and says, "Brother, I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" The river heard them both, still flowing, still teaching. We too carry what has long passed, conversations, failures, regrets. But the river of life has already moved on. The question is not what it carries, but what we continue to hold. Non-self does not mean we vanish. It means we belong. It means your laughter echoes in someone else's joy. Your kindness ripples across unseen lives. Just as every drop contributes to the ocean, every thought, every choice contributes to the collective flow of humanity. When you see yourself as part of this greater movement, loneliness fades. You realize that no drop is ever lost. It only returns to the sea. To live with this understanding is to live without fear. You no longer cling to who you were or who you might become. You live as the river, present, adaptable, endlessly new. And when storms come, you remember the sky. The sky never panics when thunder rolls. It knows the storm cannot touch its vastness. The same awareness within you cannot be harmed by what passes through it. Now, close your eyes and imagine both. The river below and the sky above. Feel how they reflect each other. When the river is still, it mirrors the sky perfectly. When the mind is still, it mirrors truth. Beneath all movement, you are that reflection. A union of flow and space, earth and heaven, body and awareness. This is the harmony of being. To flow like water, to rest like sky. One is motion, the other stillness. Together they create balance. The Buddha called this balance the middle way, not clinging to life, not rejecting it, but flowing through it with wisdom and grace. If you find yourself struggling with who you are, remember this: you are not meant to be one thing forever. The tree does not stay a seed. The moon does not stay full. Every phase has its purpose. Let yourself be the changing river, the vast sky, the moving breath of life itself. And when the world feels too heavy, step into the current. Whisper to yourself, "I am flowing. I am free." Watch how even that simple phrase softens the heart. Because the truth is, you were never separate from the flow. You were always part of it. Tonight, rest inside this understanding. Rest like the sky, open and unburdened. Rest like the river, moving yet calm. Feel your breath rise and fall, the perfect rhythm between motion and stillness. Tomorrow, we will look deeper into this harmony. How to walk the middle path between effort and ease, between striving and surrender. But for now, let the river carry you. Let the sky hold you. You are both infinite and changing, grounded and free. Sleep softly, dear one. The river and the sky are one, and tonight, they breathe through you. Threads of connection. The river still flows quietly in your imagination. The sky above is wide and endless, a mirror of calm awareness. Somewhere between them, you feel yourself resting, no longer separate, no longer searching. You are simply here, breathing with the world. As the gentle sound of water fades, a new realization begins to shimmer in your heart. Everything touches everything else. Nothing stands alone. The Buddha called this dependent origination, the law that all things arise together. It means that nothing exists by itself. Every leaf depends on sunlight, soil, and rain. Every cloud depends on wind, heat, and the vastness of the sky. Even your thoughts depend on all the experiences that came before them. Voices you heard, faces you loved, moments you lived. The idea of self begins to feel softer, more spacious, more connected. Imagine standing in a forest at dawn. The mist moves slowly between the trees. You take a breath, and the air that fills your lungs was once inside a leaf, a bird, a mountain. You breathe in the forest, and the forest breathes you. There is no boundary where you end and the world begins. The same river that flowed through the earth now flows through your veins. The same sunlight that touched the ocean is now warming your skin. You are not in nature. You are nature remembering itself. This is the beauty of interbeing, the truth that everything arises together. When you pick a flower, you touch the rain that fell 100 miles away. When you eat a grain of rice, you are partaking in the labor of farmers, the generosity of the soil, the light of the sun, the patience of time. The Buddha once held up a single blossom before his disciples and smiled. He didn't need to speak because the flower contained the whole universe. We forget this easily. Modern life teaches us the illusion of separation. My life, my success, my problems. We move through cities surrounded by people yet feel alone. We chase individual dreams while missing the invisible web that makes our lives possible. But even your solitude is shared. Someone built the walls that shelter you. Someone grew the food that nourishes you. Someone mined the metals that power the device through which you now listen. You are the sum of countless kindnesses. When you start to see these threads of connection, something inside you softens. Gratitude becomes effortless. You realize that you have never truly been isolated, not even in your loneliest hours. Every inhale you take is a gift from the trees. Every exhale you release feeds the world in return. The universe is a circle of giving and receiving that never ends. Once, a monk was asked, "Master, what is the essence of your teaching?" He replied, "When I eat, I eat. When I sleep, I sleep." The student protested, "But everyone eats and sleeps." The master smiled. Not everyone knows they are connected to the entire world while doing so. To eat with awareness is to feel the rain, the soil, and the hands that brought the food to you. To sleep with awareness is to rest, knowing the stars above are watching over you, the same stars that watched over the Buddha long ago. In this understanding, compassion naturally blossoms. Because when you see that others are not others, but extensions of the same life that moves through you, kindness stops being a virtue. It becomes instinct. How can you harm what you are? How can you ignore what breathes the same air as you? Picture a spider's web glistening in the morning dew. Each thread trembles when touched, sending ripples across the whole. So it is with our lives. Every word, every gesture, every thought sends vibrations through the web of existence. You may think your kindness goes unnoticed, but somewhere it eases another heart. You may think your pain is yours alone, but somewhere another soul feels the echo. The Buddha compared this to the great net of Indra, an infinite web that stretches across the universe with a jewel at every intersection. Each jewel reflects every other jewel endlessly. When one shines, all shine. When one dims, all dim. You are one of those jewels, radiant, essential, interconnected. Your light is not separate from the whole, and yet our minds often tell us the opposite. No one understands me. I'm alone in this. My pain doesn't matter. But these are clouds, not truth. When you touch awareness deeply, you feel the hum of life running through everything. Even loneliness becomes a doorway to connection. Because to feel the ache of disconnection means your heart is still longing to belong. That longing itself is proof of your belonging. Try this small reflection. Place your hand over your heart and feel it beating. Now imagine the same rhythm echoing in billions of hearts around the world. Every human, every animal, every creature that breathes, the same pulse moves through all of us. In this rhythm, separation dissolves. The heart you touch is not only your own, it's the heart of existence. Once you see the world this way, even small acts become sacred. A smile to a stranger, a kind word, a patient breath. They ripple outward, unseen but unfailing. The law of cause and effect, or karma, is not about punishment or reward. It's about resonance. What you offer returns to you, not because someone is keeping score, but because everything is one continuous movement. When you plant peace, you walk through a peaceful world. When you plant fear, you move through a fearful one. The garden you see is the one you tend inside. In Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh's words, we inter-are. The cloud becomes rain, the rain becomes tea, and when you drink your tea, the cloud is inside you. Awareness of this truth turns ordinary life into prayer. Washing dishes becomes gratitude, walking becomes communion, listening becomes love. You may wonder, but what about the suffering I see? How can everything be connected when the world feels so divided? The answer lies not in denial, but in deeper seeing. The pain of one is the pain of all. When you tend to your own heart, you are tending to the collective heart. When you forgive yourself, you lighten the burden of humanity. When you choose peace in your small corner, the entire web trembles with relief. The Buddha said, thousands of candles can be lit from a single flame, and the life of that flame will not be shortened. This is the law of interconnection. Your peace does not subtract from the world, it multiplies it. Your calm becomes a refuge not only for you, but for those you meet. Now, as you rest in this awareness, imagine looking down from above, as though your spirit were drifting high above the earth. You see rivers winding, cities glowing, forests breathing, oceans pulsing. Billions of lives intertwine like threads of light. Each spark you see is a soul, laughing, crying, loving, learning. None are alone. The entire world is one great organism, breathing in and out together. Feel how humbling that is. The same forces that move the stars are moving your blood. The same silence between galaxies exists in the space between your thoughts. You are both small and vast, local and infinite. The entire cosmos lives in you. So tonight, if you feel the weight of solitude, remember, you are woven into the same tapestry as every living thing. The hands that built your home, the wind that carries your breath, the moon that lights your path. They are all threads in the same divine fabric. You don't have to understand how, you only have to feel it. As you breathe now, whisper softly, I am connected. I am part of everything. Let the words melt into your heartbeat. With each inhale, imagine drawing strength from the web of life. With each exhale, imagine sending peace back into it. This is meditation, not escape, but participation. The night holds you, the earth supports you, and the sky above mirrors your endless being. You are the river, the forest, the mountain, and the wind. You are not just in the world, you are the world, seeing itself for a moment through human eyes. Tomorrow, we will follow these threads even deeper to find the balance between effort and rest, the wisdom of walking the middle way. But for now, let yourself drift in this great web of light. Feel the pulse of connection beneath your skin. You have never been alone, not for a single breath. The universe has been holding you all along. Sleep peacefully, dear one. The threads are unbroken. The web holds you gently, and through you, the whole world breathes. Walking the middle path, the night air is still, yet alive. You can sense the pulse of the earth beneath you. Slow, steady, ancient. The threads of connection you felt before are still here, weaving softly through your awareness. You realize that everything breathes in rhythm. The ocean waves, the rise and fall of your chest, even the gentle whisper of wind through leaves. In this rhythm, there is no struggle, only balance. This is where our next journey begins. The path between extremes, the art of walking without falling to either side. The Buddha called it the middle way. Not too tight, not too loose. Not indulgence, not denial. Just enough. Like a string on a lute that must be tuned. Too slack, and it won't sing. Too tight, and it will break. The Buddha discovered this truth after years of seeking. He had lived both extremes. In his youth, he drowned in luxury, silk cushions, endless feasts, every desire fulfilled. Yet peace eluded him. Later, he became an ascetic, starving his body, denying all comfort, believing that suffering was the key to awakening. But when his strength nearly failed, he realized, neither pleasure nor pain leads to freedom. Freedom lies in balance. One morning, as he sat beside the Naranjara River, weak and trembling, a young woman offered him a bowl of rice milk. He accepted. The sweetness revived him. In that moment, he understood. The path to awakening is not to reject the world, but to see it clearly and walk it wisely. That was the birth of the middle way. For most of us, the extremes may look different. We swing between control and chaos, ambition and exhaustion, perfectionism and despair. We chase success until we burn out, then collapse into numbness. We push ourselves to be good, then punish ourselves when we fall short. The mind loves to live at the edges. All or nothing, black or white. But the heart knows balance. The heart whispers, there is another way. Imagine standing on a wooden bridge. On one side, the river of desire rushes fiercely. The craving for more, faster, better. On the other side, the river of aversion pulls in the opposite direction. Resistance, fear, avoidance. Between them lies the bridge of awareness. To walk this bridge is to walk the middle path. Each step is a breath, a choice to stay centered amidst motion. The middle way is not mediocrity. It's not standing still or avoiding life. It is full participation guided by wisdom. It's knowing when to act and when to rest, when to speak and when to listen. It's drinking the tea without rushing, working without attachment to results, loving without possession, resting without guilt. In modern life, this path can feel almost radical. The culture around us glorifies extremes. Hustle harder, feel deeper, achieve faster, be more productive. We measure worth by output and peace by performance. But the Buddha's teaching reminds us, life is not a race to win. It is a dance to move through with grace. Think of a candle flame. If you shield it too tightly, it suffocates. If you leave it in the storm, it's blown out. But with the right space, not too much, not too little, it glows steadily. Balance is that space. When we lose balance, suffering returns. Too much discipline without kindness becomes rigidity. Too much kindness without discipline becomes indulgence. The middle way is where compassion and wisdom meet. It's the quiet strength that knows when to hold and when to release. You can practice this right now. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice its natural rhythm, neither forced nor neglected. You don't have to make it deeper or slower, just let it be as it is. This is mindfulness in its purest form, allowing things to unfold naturally without control. When you learn to breathe this way, you learn to live this way. The Buddha once said, just as a bird needs 2 wings to fly, so does the path need both wisdom and compassion. Too much wisdom without compassion becomes cold. Too much compassion without wisdom becomes blind. Together, they make harmony. The middle way is the space where the two meet, where love is guided by understanding, and understanding is softened by love. Think of the times you've tried to fix everything. Every relationship, every situation, every thought. Exhausting, isn't it? The need to control comes from fear, but letting go entirely can feel like giving up. The balance lies in trust, doing your best and releasing the rest. Plant the seed, water it, and then step back. The tree will grow in its own time. There's a Zen saying, let go or be dragged. It's a reminder that clinging, even to good things, pulls us off balance. But letting go doesn't mean abandoning care. It means holding gently. Imagine holding a butterfly. If you grip too tightly, you harm it. If you open your hand too soon, it flies away before its time. The art is to hold with tenderness and freedom. That is balance. The Buddha described the middle way as the path that avoids both self-indulgence and self-torture. But it's more than a moral guideline. It's a way of living moment to moment. You can walk it in how you speak, how you eat, how you think. You can walk it in the way you treat yourself. Pause for a moment and notice the inner voice that drives you. Does it demand perfection? Does it scold you for being tired? The middle way invites you to meet that voice with kindness. You don't have to silence it. Just listen without obeying. Let wisdom guide you to effort and compassion guide you to rest. Sometimes balance feels impossible. Life throws storms our way. Illness, loss, change, uncertainty. In those moments, the middle way is not about calm perfection. It's about resilience. It's standing in the rain and remembering that you are both the storm and the shelter. It's finding stillness not because the wind stops, but because you stop resisting the wind. There's a story from Japan about a bamboo forest that survived a great typhoon. All the trees were uprooted, but the bamboo bent and rose again. Strength in the Buddhist sense is not resistance. It's flexibility. To bend without breaking. That is the heart of the middle way. Now, as you lie here, let your body rest between effort and surrender. Feel your breath balancing itself. Inhale, exhale, the perfect exchange. The heart beats and pauses, beats and pauses. A natural meditation written into your being. You don't have to do anything. You are already living the middle way. Imagine the Buddha walking barefoot on the dusty road after his enlightenment. Each step steady, grounded, gentle. He had no wealth, no palace, no attachments, yet he had everything. Because when nothing is clung to, everything is enough. The middle way is not about renouncing the world. It's about no longer being ruled by it. Modern wisdom echoes this truth in many forms. Therapists call it balance. Philosophers call it moderation. Artists call it harmony. But at its core, it is the same insight. Peace is born not from control, but from rhythm. Now imagine yourself walking beside that ancient road. The dust rises softly under your feet. You feel the warmth of the sun on your skin and the coolness of shade as you pass beneath trees. Each step is even, neither rushed nor slow. You're not walking to get somewhere. You're walking to walk. With each breath, you begin to notice. This balance doesn't just belong to monks or mystics. It belongs to you. It's in the way you choose kindness over judgment, in the way you take rest without guilt, in the way you speak truth without anger. The middle way is not somewhere far away. It's here in every mindful choice. As you rest in this awareness, remember, peace is not a place you arrive at. It's a path you walk. When you live in balance, you are walking peace itself. Let the night cradle you now, halfway between waking and dream. You don't need to hold on to this lesson. It's already in your breath, your heart, your step. The river still flows, the sky still opens, and you walk between them with grace. Tomorrow, we will explore the heart that grows from this balance, the gentle power of compassion, and how it can heal even the deepest wounds. But for now, let your mind rest in the middle. Neither past nor future, neither holding nor pushing away. Just here, just this. Sleep softly, dear one. You are walking the middle path, and it is carrying you home. The Garden of Compassion. The dawn rises gently, its light spreading like warm breath across the horizon. The world is quiet, and yet you can feel life moving in every direction. Unseen roots beneath the soil, birds awakening in the distance, the slow rhythm of your own heart. After walking the middle path, you find yourself arriving at a quiet clearing, a garden shimmering with morning dew. The air here feels alive, as if the earth itself were whispering, "Be kind." You step inside, barefoot on the soft ground. Every blade of grass bends without complaint beneath your feet. You sense it. This is not a new place. It is the garden of your own heart, rediscovered. It has always been here, waiting beneath the noise of fear and judgment. In the center lies a still pond. You kneel and see your reflection rippling in the water, not as something separate, but as part of the same living fabric. The Buddha once said, "Just as a mother protects her only child at the risk of her life, so let your heart cultivate boundless love toward all beings." As you gaze at your reflection, you understand, compassion begins not with others, but with yourself. You have suffered, and you have endured. You have been both the one who hurt and the one who was hurt, and yet you are still capable of love. The simple fact that your heart still wants to open means it has never truly closed. In Buddhism, compassion has 4 faces: loving kindness, compassion in action, joy in another's joy, and calm acceptance. Together they form the 4 immeasurable states of the awakened heart. They are not rules to obey, but seeds to water. And every act of mindfulness, every breath of understanding, is sunlight for those seeds. Begin with loving kindness, the wish that all beings be happy and free. Start small, start here. Place your hand on your chest and whisper, "May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I live with ease." Feel how those words soften the walls inside you. As the Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Then, let this warmth expand outward. Picture someone you care for, a friend, a parent, a child. Silently offer the same wish. May you be peaceful. May you be safe. And then, when you are ready, extend it even further to those who challenge you, who misunderstand you, who have hurt you. Your heart may resist. That's natural, but every time you open it again, compassion grows stronger roots. Compassion in motion arises when you see suffering and do not turn away. The Buddha taught, if one feels compassion for a single being, one feels compassion for all. Compassion is not pity, it is the courage to meet pain with understanding. When you listen to someone's story without judgment, when you choose patience instead of anger, you are practicing karuna. You are healing the world quietly, one breath at a time. Joy in another's joy is the joy that comes when others find happiness. It's the opposite of envy. It's celebration without comparison. To rejoice in another's good fortune is to affirm the abundance of life itself. When someone succeeds, may your heart whisper, "How beautiful that joy exists in the world." The Buddha said, "Victory breeds hatred, the defeated live in misery, the peaceful live happily, giving up victory and defeat." Mudita invites us into that peace, the joy that needs no competition. And then comes calm acceptance, equanimity, the balance that allows compassion to endure. Without this calmness, even love can become exhausting. Calm acceptance is the deep knowing that you can care without clinging, love without losing yourself, and remain open even when the world changes. It's the serenity that allows a nurse to hold the hand of a dying patient or a mother to forgive what she cannot forget. The Buddha said, "Hatred is never appeased by hatred, but only by love. This is an eternal law." When you remember that truth, compassion ceases to be an emotion. It becomes a way of being. You sit quietly now beside the pond. The water glimmers under the morning sun. In its reflection, you see all four faces of compassion: kindness, courage, joy, and calm, dancing together like ripples. You see that they are not separate virtues, but one movement of the same loving awareness. A breeze passes through the garden. You inhale deeply, and it feels as though the entire world is breathing with you. In this breath, you sense something sacred, the understanding that compassion does not belong to religion or culture. It belongs to life itself. To breathe is to participate in kindness. Ajahn Chah, the Thai forest monk, once said, "If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace." Compassion is a form of letting go. Letting go of the idea that anyone is beyond redemption, including yourself. As you sit here, memories may arise. People you've hurt, people who've hurt you. Let them come, let them pass. Whisper gently, "May you be free from suffering. May you find peace." These words do not excuse what happened. They free you from carrying its weight. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's remembering without bitterness. Now imagine walking deeper into the garden. Flowers bloom along your path, each one a color of kindness. Yellow for joy, blue for patience, red for courage, white for peace. You realize that compassion is not abstract. It's the smile you give a stranger, the patience you show a child, the moment you choose silence over blame. These small acts are the seeds that keep humanity alive. As the sun climbs higher, the garden hums with life. Bees, wind, birds, water, all in perfect cooperation. You see clearly now that compassion is not limited to human hearts. It is the intelligence of nature, the law of harmony that keeps all things in balance. The same kindness that makes a flower open is the kindness that can make a heart heal. The Buddha once told his disciples, "If you light a lamp for another, it will also brighten your own path." Every kind word you speak is a lamp. Every moment you choose understanding over anger is another light added to the world. Compassion multiplies quietly, infinitely. Now close your eyes. Feel that gentle light expanding within you. With each breath, it grows, from your chest to your shoulders, your arms, your fingertips. With every exhale, it radiates outward, touching your home, your loved ones, your city, the whole planet. You may not see its reach, but you can feel its truth. You are both the giver and the gift. The Dalai Lama once said, "If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion." The two are not separate. When you love others, you heal yourself. When you forgive others, you free yourself. Stay here in this garden for a few more breaths. Let kindness take root so deeply that even your silence begins to bloom. Feel how the air feels lighter, how your body softens, how your thoughts slow to the pace of the wind. This is the heart's true nature, open, warm, vast as the sky. When you leave this garden, it will not disappear. It travels with you, in your tone of voice, in your gestures, in the way you listen. The Buddha said, "The fragrance of flowers cannot travel against the wind, but the fragrance of virtue travels in all directions." You are that fragrance now, a quiet sweetness moving through the world. So rest, dear one. You have planted good seeds tonight. Let the night air water them with stillness. Let your breath be the wind that keeps them alive. Compassion will grow in its own time. You do not need to force it. You only need to remain gentle, sleep softly. The garden is alive within you, and the whole world breathes through its petals. Before you drift into rest, take one final walk through the garden of your heart. The evening light begins to fall. The colors soften into gold and silver. You hear the rustle of leaves, the quiet hum of life preparing for night. Even here in stillness, everything is connected by care. The Buddha taught, "As rain falls on the just and the unjust alike, let your heart be large enough to encompass all." Compassion doesn't choose who deserves it. It simply flows, like the rain, nourishing everything it touches. You sit again beside the pond, now reflecting the first stars of twilight. In their soft light, you remember that kindness is never wasted. A gentle word today may bloom into peace years later. A small forgiveness may save someone from despair. No gesture of compassion is ever lost. It is stored in the quiet memory of the universe, like starlight that never truly disappears. As you breathe, a calm joy rises. Not the excitement of doing good, but the peace of being good. This is the secret of the awakened heart. Compassion is not something you perform, it is something you become. The Buddha said, "If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves." And so, may your heart walk with that shadow, soft, luminous, ever near. The garden grows even in your sleep, nourished by your breath, your dreams, and your gentle wish for peace. Rest now, dear one. The fragrance of compassion surrounds you. The night itself bows to the kindness in your soul. The diamond within, night has fallen gently over the garden. The lotus flowers have closed their petals, resting after a long day of light. The pond now mirrors the stars, each one trembling softly upon its surface. You sit by the water's edge, and the reflection of the night sky seems infinite, as if the universe itself were breathing within you. In this quiet space, a truth begins to shimmer. Even in darkness, the light has never left. This is what the Buddha called the luminous mind. He said, "Luminous, monks, is this mind, and it is freed from defilements that visit it." Like a diamond buried beneath the soil, your true nature remains untouched by the storms of thought and fear. The mud may cover it for a while, but the brilliance beneath never fades. You don't have to become anything new. You only have to remember what you already are. Imagine holding a diamond in your hand. At first, it looks dull, clouded with dust. You begin to wipe it gently, and slowly the light returns. The diamond has not changed, only the covering has. The Buddha taught that the same is true of the heart. Our confusion, anger, and worry are temporary dust. They come and go. Beneath them, the clarity of awareness remains. You may think, "But my mind is restless, my thoughts are messy, my mistakes too many." And yet even the restless river reflects the moon when it grows still for a moment. The moon never stops shining. The clouds only hide it from view. Likewise, the light of your awareness, your Buddha nature, has never stopped glowing. It only waits for you to stop stirring the surface. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, By oneself is evil done. By oneself is one defiled. By oneself is evil left undone. By oneself is one purified. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. These words are not a burden, but an empowerment. They remind you that your awakening does not depend on someone else's blessing. It depends on your own recognition of the diamond within. Close your eyes now and take a slow breath. As you inhale, imagine light entering through the crown of your head, clear, radiant, cool. As you exhale, imagine that light spreading through your body, dissolving tension, washing away self-judgment. Every breath polishes the diamond a little more. Every exhale removes a thin layer of dust. You may recall moments in your life when that light felt close. Standing by the sea, watching the sunrise, or simply holding someone's hand in silence. In those moments, the noise of me and mine faded, and something vast, peaceful, and wordless remained. That was your Buddha nature shining through. It is not far away. It is what you are when you stop pretending to be anything else. Ajahn Chah once said, "If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will be free." The more you release the illusion of control, the clearer the light becomes. Holding on to thoughts, emotions, or identities is like gripping a burning coal. You only hurt yourself. When you drop it, the pain ends, and the healing begins. The Buddha compared the enlightened mind to a clear mirror. He said, "The wise reflect as a still lake, untroubled, pure, serene. The mirror does not judge what it reflects. It does not cling to beautiful images or reject ugly ones. It simply shows things as they are. This is the power of the diamond within you. Clarity without preference, compassion without condition." Sometimes people misunderstand awakening. They imagine it as a state of eternal bliss, untouched by sorrow. But the Buddha did not promise an escape from life. He promised freedom within life. To awaken is to see clearly, not to feel nothing. It is to know that pain and peace arise and pass, but awareness remains, luminous, steady, kind. Think of a candle flame in a dark room. The flame does not fight the darkness. It simply shines. The Buddha said, "As a lamp in the night dispels darkness, so does wisdom dispel ignorance." When you sit in mindfulness, you are lighting that lamp. You are remembering what has always been true. You might say, "But I don't feel enlightened. I still get angry, jealous, afraid." The Buddha smiled at such confessions. He understood that the path is gradual, like polishing a gem. Every act of patience, every moment of awareness, every gentle breath clears a little more dust. You do not have to be perfect to shine. You only have to be sincere. The diamond within you is not something you earn. It is what you uncover when you stop running. It is the same awareness that watched over you as a child, that has witnessed every joy and sorrow since. You have never truly lost it. You have only been looking elsewhere. The Buddha said, "There is no fire like passion, no grip like hatred, no net like delusion, but there is also no river like understanding. Understanding washes the fire clean, opens the fist of hatred, and tears through the net of illusion. When understanding dawns, the light within meets the light outside, and the world becomes transparent. You begin to see everything, every person, every sound, every breeze, as reflections of the same brilliance. Imagine now that the stars above the pond begin to fall, one by one, into the water. Each spark of light merges with its reflection until you can no longer tell where the sky ends and the pond begins. This is the truth of your being. No separation between heaven and earth, between form and emptiness, between self and world. The Buddha described it simply. Within this very body, mortal as it is, I declare there is the world, the arising of the world, the ceasing of the world, and the path that leads to the cessation of the world. Everything you seek is already within. Sit for a moment in this vastness. Feel your breath moving gently through it, as if your lungs were opening to the entire sky. The air you inhale has passed through mountains, forests, oceans, and stars. You are breathing the breath of life itself. You are not a small spark lost in the universe. You are the universe remembering its own light. In this understanding, humility arises naturally. You no longer need to prove or defend yourself. The diamond shines on its own, silently, effortlessly. You realize that everyone carries the same jewel, though most have forgotten. To see it in yourself is to begin to see it in others. That recognition is love in its purest form. The Buddha said, "All beings tremble before danger, all fear death. Consider others as yourself and do not harm them." When you see the diamond in others, compassion becomes inevitable. The wise do not act kindly because they are told to. They act kindly because they cannot help it. They see themselves in every being. Now, as the night deepens, imagine placing your hand upon your heart. Beneath the warmth of your skin, there is a glow, steady, timeless, pure. That is your true nature. No sin can stain it, no fear can break it, no sorrow can extinguish it. It is the quiet witness that has always been watching, patient and kind. You may whisper softly, "The light within me is the same light that guides the stars." Feel how that truth dissolves every sense of distance. You have never been apart from the sacred. You are the sacred. Soon you will drift into sleep. As you do, remember that even in dreams the diamond shines. Even in sorrow, it remains untouched. When morning comes, you will rise carrying its light, subtle, invisible, but real. The Buddha taught, as the full moon is freed from clouds, so is the mind freed from ignorance when wisdom arises. Let this wisdom settle into you now. Let it rest in your heart like moonlight upon still water. Tomorrow, we will journey deeper into the art of awareness itself, and how this luminous mind can guide you through every thought and emotion without fear. But for tonight, rest in the quiet certainty that the diamond is here, shining within you, brighter than any star. Sleep softly, dear one. You are already what you seek. Sometimes the diamond reveals itself not in silence, but through the cracks of life. When the world disappoints you, when a plan collapses or a friendship fades, that light often shines most clearly through the opening that pain creates. The Buddha said, "Just as a lotus grows in muddy water, the wise rise through suffering and radiate peace." The mud does not shame the lotus, it nourishes it. The same is true of your heart. What you once called mistakes were merely roots searching for sunlight. Every tear you've shed was water for the seed of wisdom. So do not curse the mud. Do not fear the darkness. Beneath every hardship, the diamond is being polished. The Buddha reminded his disciples, "There is no path to peace. Peace is the path." Even your moments of confusion are part of that path. Each question, each doubt, each breath is shaping you into clarity. And when you see your own light, however faint, do not hide it. Share it quietly, through patience, through listening, through kindness that asks for nothing. For a single act of genuine love, born from awareness, can brighten 1,000 unseen hearts. The art of awareness. The night has grown quiet again. The stars shimmer softly above the garden of your heart, and the diamond within you glows with steady light. It does not flicker, it does not fade. It simply shines, patient, constant, aware. As you sit in this stillness, a new understanding begins to unfold. Awareness itself is the path, and the practice is to remember that you are already awake. The Buddha said, "In this body with its consciousness and perceptions, I declare there is the world, the arising of the world, and the ceasing of the world." He was reminding us that liberation is not somewhere else. It is in how we see this very moment. Every breath, every sound, every feeling is a gate to awakening. Mindfulness, or sati, means to remember. It is the art of remembering to be here, now. Not to chase the past or wrestle the future, but to dwell in the living moment where life actually happens. When you are truly aware, even the simplest act, washing a cup, walking across a room, feeling the air touch your skin, becomes sacred. You can practice it now. Feel the next breath entering your body. Don't control it. Simply notice it. Feel where it touches, the nose, the chest, the belly. Feel the pause that follows before it leaves. Then notice the exhale, the soft release, the warmth that leaves your lips. Awareness does not change the breath. It witnesses it. And in witnessing, peace appears on its own. The Buddha said, "When one knows the breath as it enters and as it leaves, one dwells in peace." He called this mindfulness of breathing, a direct path to liberation. Why? Because to know the breath is to know impermanence, and to know impermanence is to know freedom. Each breath arises and passes away, just as every thought, every emotion, every life. In that rhythm lies truth. In the modern world, the mind is often scattered, pulled between notifications, memories, and plans. We live as if we are everywhere but here. Mindfulness is the gentle returning, again and again, to this moment. You may lose awareness 1,000 times. What matters is that you return once more. The Buddha said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." Each time you notice a single breath, that is your one true word. Sometimes mindfulness feels simple, even boring. The ego whispers, "There must be more than this." But in that simplicity lies the deepest joy. When you see clearly, even ordinary things reveal their beauty. The sound of rain becomes a teaching on impermanence. The flicker of a candle becomes a lesson in letting go. The smile of a stranger becomes proof that the world is kind. Mindfulness is not about silencing the mind. It's about seeing it clearly. Thoughts will come about tomorrow, about what you said, about what might go wrong. Let them come. They are not enemies. They are clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. You don't have to stop them. You only have to stop following them. The Buddha taught, whatever one frequently thinks and ponders upon, that will become the inclination of the mind. When you watch your thoughts without attachment, you stop feeding what harms you. The angry thought fades. The fearful thought dissolves. What remains is calm. Not forced calm, but natural quiet, like a lake undisturbed. Ajahn Chah once said, "Do not try to become calm. If you try to be calm, you are already agitated. Instead, watch the agitation. It will calm itself." This is the art of awareness, to trust that the mind, when left ungrasped, will find its own balance. You don't have to hold the waves still. You only have to let the wind settle. Now imagine walking through a forest at dawn. The path is covered with fallen leaves. The light filters gently through the branches. With every step, you feel the ground beneath your feet. Soft, cool, alive. Each sound, a bird, a rustle, a distant breeze, becomes part of your meditation. There is no separation between you and the forest. The walker and the path are one movement. This is mindfulness in motion. Awareness that flows instead of holds. In Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha described 4 foundations of mindfulness: awareness of the body, of feelings, of mind, and of mental objects. To be aware of the body is to see it not as mine, but as nature, bones, breath, blood, earth. To be aware of feelings is to notice pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral sensations, without grasping or pushing them away. To be aware of the mind is to recognize its states: restless, calm, distracted, clear. And to be aware of mental objects is to understand the patterns that arise: craving, aversion, ignorance, and see them for what they are: temporary visitors. The more you observe, the more you understand that awareness itself is unchanging. Everything else moves, but awareness remains the witness. Like the sun behind clouds, it never disappears. It only becomes obscured. The Buddha said, "All conditioned things are impermanent." When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Awareness is that seeing. You might wonder, but how can I stay mindful in daily life? When I'm working, talking, driving? The answer is gentle. You don't stay mindful. You return to mindfulness. Each time you remember, it begins anew. When you drink tea, taste it fully. When you listen, truly listen. When you rest, rest completely. Awareness grows through repetition, not perfection. There is a story of a monk who asked his teacher, "What is the essence of practice?" The teacher replied, "When hungry, eat. When tired, sleep." The monk protested, "But everyone does that." The teacher smiled, "No, they don't. When they eat, they think of 100 things. When they sleep, they dream of tomorrow. That is why they miss the moment." To live mindfully is to live awake, even while doing the simplest things. The Buddha compared mindfulness to a guard at the city gate. Watchful, patient, alert. Without that guard, confusion enters easily. With awareness, you become the guardian of your own peace. You know what arises, what stays, and what fades. Nothing takes you by surprise because you are present for everything. Take a breath now. Feel the inhale fill your body. Feel the exhale leave softly. In this rhythm, notice how awareness never leaves, even as the breath comes and goes. The breath is impermanent. Awareness is timeless. You are both, the movement and the knowing of the movement. As awareness deepens, compassion naturally follows. The more you see your own mind, the more you understand the minds of others. You realize that everyone is struggling with their own storms, their own waves. Mindfulness reveals not only truth, but tenderness. The Buddha said, "All tremble before danger, all fear death." Comparing others with oneself, one should neither kill nor cause others to kill. Awareness without compassion is incomplete. Compassion without awareness is blind. The art of awareness is not to escape life, but to live it with eyes open. To see clearly is to love deeply. To be fully present is to be free. Now, as you rest beneath the stars, let this mindfulness settle gently in your body. Each breath is a wave, each thought is a cloud. You are the ocean, you are the sky. The world moves through you, but you remain vast, open, awake. The Buddha said, "As the rain penetrates an ill-thatched house, so passion penetrates an undeveloped mind. As the rain does not penetrate a well-thatched roof, so passion does not penetrate a well-developed mind." Tonight, your awareness is that roof, steady, secure, allowing the world to pass without harm. Tomorrow, we will follow this awareness into action, how mindful living transforms not only the mind, but the world around you. We will learn how stillness can move mountains, and how simple presence can heal what striving never could. For now, rest in this knowing. You do not need to seek awareness. You are awareness. You are the witness, the light, the stillness that holds everything. Sleep softly, dear one. The art of awareness is unfolding within you. Breath by breath, moment by moment, like moonlight touching the earth. Sometimes awareness feels like standing on the shore, watching waves rise and fall. You see joy appear, then fade. You see sadness come, then soften. You learn that awareness is not control. It is intimacy with life. The Buddha said, When a wise person sees the arising and passing away of the five aggregates, they find joy and freedom. Awareness is that seeing, the gentle recognition that everything you cling to is already moving. There will be moments when the waves crash hard, moments of anger, fear, or loneliness. But even then, awareness does not disappear. It holds you like the deep ocean beneath the storm. You begin to realize that peace isn't found in stopping the storm, but in remembering that the sky is always clear above it. In this way, mindfulness becomes compassion in motion. The more you watch, the more you soften. The more you soften, the more you release. You begin to see that letting go is not loss. It's love in its purest form. The Buddha taught, to let go of grasping is to end suffering. And so, our next step begins where awareness meets surrender, the sacred art of release. It is the moment when the hand unclenches, when the heart exhales, when the soul whispers, enough. I am free. The freedom of letting go. The night deepens. The air feels lighter now, as if awareness itself has loosened something within you. You can sense it, that quiet ease that comes after understanding. You have seen the mind, watched its movement, heard its whispers, and now, softly, it begins to open. The Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like grasping a burning coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Letting go is not a command, it is a mercy. It is what happens when the heart finally grows tired of carrying what was never meant to be held. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your hands gently opening. See all the things you've been gripping, the worries, the expectations, the memories that replay again and again. One by one, they lift and float away like dry leaves in the wind. Nothing is taken from you. Everything is released. And in that release, you notice, you feel lighter, not emptier. Letting go is not the opposite of love. It is the completion of love. The Buddha said, attachment brings suffering. From attachment arises fear. For one who is free of attachment, there is no fear. True love holds gently. It doesn't bind, it doesn't demand, it doesn't possess. It says, may you be happy, even if not with me. To love without clinging is to love like the earth loves the rain. Grateful when it falls, patient when it leaves, knowing both nourish life. In life, we cling not only to people, but to ideas, who we think we should be, how the world should treat us, what our past should have meant. Every should is a small chain around the heart. The more we tighten it, the more we suffer. But the Buddha taught that liberation is not achieved by adding anything new, but by letting go of what obscures our natural peace. Just as a snake sheds its skin, he said, so must one discard the past again and again. Sometimes, letting go happens in great sudden waves, a breakup, a loss, a change that shakes your foundation. Other times, it is quiet, almost invisible, a slow uncoiling of tension, a soft acceptance that things are as they are. In both, freedom is born not from forgetting, but from forgiving. Forgiveness is the art of release. It doesn't erase what happened. It removes the poison from your hand. When you forgive, you say, I choose peace over being right. I choose freedom over control. The Buddha said, if one speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows like the wheel of the cart follows the hoof of the ox. But if one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves. Forgiveness purifies the mind. It allows joy to follow without resistance. Think of a river again, how it flows freely around rocks, never stopping to argue with them. The river doesn't resent the stone. It shapes it with time, then moves on. This is the wisdom of letting go, not force, but flow. To let go is to trust the current of life, even when you cannot see where it leads. Many people believe letting go means losing everything, becoming detached or indifferent. But detachment in Buddhism does not mean disconnection. It means intimacy without fear. When you stop clinging, you begin to see things as they are. Beautiful, transient, alive. You can finally love them fully because you no longer need them to stay. Take a deep breath. As you inhale, feel the cool air fill your lungs. As you exhale, imagine releasing a weight from your chest. Each breath is a lesson in impermanence. You cannot hold the inhale. You cannot force the exhale. Letting go is built into the design of life. To resist it is to resist breathing. There's a story in the Samyutta Nikaya. The Buddha once held out his hand, clutching a few leaves. He said, "What do you think, monks? Which are more, the few leaves in my hand, or those in the forest?" The monks answered, "The leaves in the forest are far more, Lord." The Buddha said, "In the same way, what I have taught you is like these few leaves. What I have realized is vast as the forest, but what I teach is enough, because it leads to peace, to letting go." The teaching was simple. Let go of what is unnecessary, and freedom will find you. You can practice this in your own heart. Choose one worry, one regret, one small knot of resistance. Hold it gently in your awareness. Look at it without judgment. Whisper to it, "You are free to go." Notice what happens, not outside, but inside. The space that opens within you is peace. Ajahn Chah said, "If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will be free." The practice of release is not dramatic. It happens one moment at a time, one breath, one sigh, one choice to stop clinging. Sometimes the hardest thing to release is not the past, but the idea of who you are. The Buddha said, "All formations are like foam, like a mirage, like a dream. What you call me is a collection of memories, habits, and hopes, constantly shifting. To hold tightly to identity is to hold on to smoke. When you let go, you realize you were never the story. You were always the space where stories appear and dissolve." As you sit quietly, feel how everything around you moves, the air, the sound, the pulse in your wrists. You cannot stop the movement, and that's the gift. Awareness allows you to dance with impermanence instead of fighting it. Each breath teaches you again. Hold, release, hold, release. Letting go is not something you do once. It is the rhythm of awakening. The Buddha described it as nekkhamma, renunciation, not as denial but as freedom. It is the joy that arises when the heart stops demanding more and starts resting in enough. Just as rain fills a river drop by drop, he said, so freedom fills the heart through small acts of release. If you listen closely, you'll feel it. The quiet joy that comes when you no longer need to control everything. The birds still sing, the stars still shine. The world continues beautifully without your effort. You are free to rest in it, to trust its flow. Now imagine standing by the same river you have followed through these nights. The water glows faintly under the moonlight. You step closer and realize the current is not pulling you. It is carrying you. You are no longer the swimmer. You are the stream. The Buddha said, "There is no path to freedom apart from letting go." Take one last slow breath. As you exhale, feel the release not as emptiness, but as expansion. The space that opens in your chest is vast enough for the whole world to rest inside. The freedom you sought was never beyond you. It was waiting beneath the weight of your grasp. When you open your eyes tomorrow, notice how light the world feels, how much space there is between thoughts, between actions, between worries. That space is your liberation. The Buddha called it nibbana, the extinguishing of the fires of craving, aversion, and ignorance. It is not a place. It is peace itself, and so, dear one, rest now. Let this night be your gentle teacher. You do not have to hold anymore. You do not have to fight or prove or chase. Everything you have ever loved is still here, just in another form. Sleep softly as the river carries you. Let go. The freedom you long for is already yours. When the heart learns to let go, a new kind of stillness appears. Not silence as absence, but silence as presence. You begin to feel life not as something to hold, but as something that holds you. There is a vastness here, deeper than thought, softer than peace. The Buddha said, "There is, monks, an unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned. Were there not this unborn, there would be no escape from the born. Letting go is the beginning of that escape, not from the world, but from the illusion of separation." You realize now that freedom is not an achievement, but a return, a coming home to what has always been. Every moment you release becomes a doorway to something boundless. In that space, the question, "Who am I?" begins to dissolve. What remains is a simple awareness, open, unmeasured, infinite. And as you rest inside this vastness, you may sense something wordless rising from within. Not emptiness as nothing, but emptiness as fullness, as possibility. The same truth that the Buddha called shunyata, the ocean where all forms arise and vanish, yet the water remains, and we will step into that ocean together. The ocean of emptiness. The night is vast, and you are floating upon it like a leaf on endless water. The river that once carried you has widened beyond sight, merging into something boundless, a still, infinite ocean. The air feels lighter, and even the stars seem closer now, their reflections glimmering upon the surface of your mind. You breathe, and the ocean breathes with you. You move, and it moves with you. This is the ocean the Buddha spoke of, the ocean of emptiness. But do not be afraid of the word empty. In truth, emptiness is not absence, it is space. It is the freedom that allows all things to be. The Buddha said, "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form." These words are not a riddle. They are a map, showing us that everything we see, touch, or feel is made of conditions, changing with every breath. Imagine holding a handful of ocean water. For a moment, it takes the shape of your palm. When you release it, it returns to its nature, formless, free, without beginning or end. So it is with all things. Every sound, every thought, every moment arises from the sea of conditions and dissolves back into it. Nothing is truly lost. Nothing truly belongs. Everything simply changes form. You look into this ocean and see memories floating like shells beneath the surface. Moments of joy, sorrow, love, and loss. You reach for one, and it slips through your fingers. Not because it rejects you, but because it was never meant to stay. You realize that clinging is what makes life heavy. When you stop grasping, the ocean lifts you. The Buddha once said, "All conditioned phenomena are like a dream, an illusion, a bubble, a shadow, a dewdrop, a lightning flash. See them thus, and you will be free." Emptiness is the seeing that releases you from illusion. It's not about denying the world, but understanding its nature. When you see that all things arise because of causes, you stop blaming, stop fearing, stop forcing. You let life unfold. This truth may sound vast, but it is deeply intimate. When you watch a cloud drift across the sky, you are watching shunyata in motion. The cloud has no fixed self. It was once vapor, then rain, then river, then mist. And one day, it will be part of another sky. You too are like that cloud, shaped by conditions, yet never truly separate from the whole. As you float upon the ocean, you begin to see how every drop is connected. The wave that rises does not claim, "I am the ocean," and yet it is the ocean, momentarily expressed in form. The Buddha said, "He who sees dependent origination sees the Dharma. He who sees the Dharma sees me." To see emptiness is to see connection, that nothing exists on its own, and therefore nothing is ever truly lost. Close your eyes and feel this truth in your own breath. Inhale, and countless elements enter you. Air from forests, oceans, cities, other hearts. Exhale, and you give it all back. You cannot separate what belongs to you from what belongs to the universe. You are borrowing each breath. You are part of the exchange. In that realization, fear begins to fade. Because what can death take from what was never owned? What can change destroy when all things are already changing? Emptiness, understood deeply, is the end of fear. When there is no mine, there is nothing to lose. When there is no fixed I, there is nothing to protect. What remains is peace, vast, quiet, unshakable. The Buddha compared this peace to the still depth of the ocean, untouched by surface waves. The storms of thought, the winds of emotion, they may stir the surface, but the depths remain calm. As your awareness deepens, you begin to rest there, in that calm, where nothing needs to be added or removed. Sometimes, people misunderstand emptiness as coldness, as if it erases meaning. But emptiness is the opposite. When you see that all things are interdependent, your heart expands. You love not because something is permanent, but because it is precious in its impermanence. The Buddha said, "The world is sweet for one who is awake." Awakening makes the fleeting radiant. In the silence of the ocean, you begin to notice, even sorrow has beauty. The wave that crashes is not separate from the wave that rises. Gain and loss, birth and death, joy and grief, they are all movements of the same sea. To accept this is not resignation, it is awakening. Take a slow breath. Feel how the body rises slightly as you inhale, then falls as you exhale. Like the ocean tide, you do not control it. It moves on its own. Awareness is the boat, surrender is the sea. You are both, Ajahn Chah once said. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace. Everything that arises passes away. That's all you need to know. In this teaching, emptiness is not theory, it's freedom. You don't need to believe in it, you only need to see it. Now imagine the stars above you reflecting on the water, and the water reflecting the stars. There is no boundary. The sky is in the sea, and the sea is in the sky. The same way, your consciousness reflects the world, and the world reflects you. There is no inside or outside, no here or there. Only one vast field of being, shimmering with awareness. This understanding changes how you live. When you see that all things are empty of self, anger loses its power. You can't truly hate what you know is temporary. You can't cling to what you know cannot stay. You become soft like water, strong yet yielding. The Buddha said, "Just as rain falls on all things without discrimination, so does the wise mind flow through all beings without attachment." In that wisdom, love becomes effortless. You love because there is no reason not to. You forgive because holding on no longer makes sense. You serve because there is no difference between self and other. Emptiness does not erase compassion. It perfects it. When the illusion of separateness dissolves, all that remains is love. Let this ocean hold you now. You don't need to swim. You don't need to search. You are already floating in the truth. Every sound around you, the whisper of wind, the rhythm of your breath, the faint beating of your heart, is part of the same harmony. There is no beginning to it, no end, the Buddha said. When a wise man understands this world as a bubble and a mirage, he knows the truth and breaks the bonds of sorrow. You too are seeing through the mirage. You are not losing the world. You are meeting it without illusion. The ocean is still here, shimmering with stars. Stay here for a moment longer. Let your body rest, weightless. Feel how the water beneath you supports you completely without judgment or effort. This is the nature of reality, always holding you, even when you forget. Soon you will drift into sleep carried by this ocean. But even in your dreams, the truth remains. Emptiness is not void, it is potential. From this space, all things are born. All things live, all things return tomorrow. We will explore how this wisdom moves in the world, how to live within this emptiness with heart, to walk among others with peace that does not waver. But for tonight, rest in the ocean's cradle. Let it remind you that you have never been apart from it. You are the wave and the water, the dream and the dreamer, the breath and the silence between breaths. Sleep softly, dear one. The ocean of emptiness is full, and it is you. And yet, as you rest within this boundless stillness, a new stirring begins. Not desire, not restlessness, but a gentle call from the heart. The ocean is vast, yes, but it is not empty of love. The Buddha said, "Just as the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so too does my teaching have one taste, the taste of freedom." Freedom, when understood deeply, is never selfish. It opens into compassion. You feel it now, the quiet wish that all beings might taste this same peace. The awareness that freed you naturally turns outward, like a wave returning to the shore. You begin to understand that wisdom and compassion are not two paths but one. Emptiness without love is incomplete. Love without emptiness is blind. The ocean moves again, calm, rhythmic, alive. And you know, the awakened heart must move too. To see truth is to serve life. To realize emptiness is to overflow with kindness. Then we will follow that movement. To walk as the Bodhisattva walks, in the world, yet free from it, guided by the vow to awaken not alone, but together. The path of the awakened heart. The ocean has grown quiet again. The stars above are brighter than ever, reflected perfectly on the surface of the still water. You sit there, breathing softly, feeling how vast this peace truly is. And yet, as the stillness deepens, something within you begins to stir, not as restlessness, but as compassion. The heart that has seen emptiness begins to beat again. Not for itself, but for all. The Buddha said, "Just as the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so does my teaching have one taste, the taste of freedom. And when freedom ripens fully, its flavor becomes love." You begin to see that wisdom without compassion is dry, and compassion without wisdom is blind. But when the two meet, the heart awakens completely. After seeing that everything is connected, how can you not care for all things? After realizing there is no separation, how can you turn away from another's suffering? The awakened heart naturally wishes that all beings may be free. It is not a duty. It is the spontaneous movement of understanding. Imagine walking along the shore at dawn. The first light touches the ocean, and it shines like liquid gold. The world feels reborn. The same way, when awareness meets compassion, everything becomes new. Every sound, every face, every breeze carries a quiet beauty. You no longer ask, "What can I get?" but "What can I give?" This is the path of the awakened heart, the path of one who sees clearly, yet walks gently. The Buddha called such a person a light in the world. He said, "Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of that candle will not be shortened." Happiness never decreases by being shared. To awaken does not mean to withdraw from the world. It means to see it with new eyes, eyes that no longer divide. When you act from awareness, even ordinary things become sacred. You wash a cup, and in that small act, you wash away forgetfulness. You smile at a stranger, and in that smile, the world softens. The awakened heart doesn't wait for permission to do good. It simply does. Think of the rain again. It falls on every roof, every tree, every stone. It doesn't choose where to land. The Buddha said, "Just as the rain falls evenly on all things, so too does the wise mind offer compassion to all beings." When your heart is awakened, love ceases to be personal. It becomes a natural element of the universe, as effortless as sunlight. But compassion is not always soft. Sometimes it means standing firm in truth, even when it's uncomfortable. The awakened heart knows when to say no, when to protect, when to guide. Its strength comes not from anger, but from clarity. It does not fight the darkness. It simply shines brighter. You may wonder, how can I live like this when the world is full of noise and pain? The Buddha's answer was simple. Do not be disturbed by the things of the world. Practice compassion, and they will lose their power. When you respond to the world with awareness instead of reaction, suffering becomes your teacher. Every difficulty becomes a reminder to open the heart wider. A bodhisattva, an awakened being who chooses to stay and help, is not someone special. It is a potential in everyone. The moment you act with love instead of fear, you walk that path. When you choose patience over pride, generosity over greed, understanding over judgment, you are already living as an awakened heart. There's a story of the Buddha and a disciple who asked, "Master, how should we serve others once we are free?" The Buddha smiled and replied, "When one sees that self and others are not too, serving others is serving oneself." Compassion is not sacrifice. It is wisdom in motion. When you give, you do not lose. You expand. Take a moment now to imagine a small flame inside your heart. With each breath, it glows brighter, warm, steady, unshakable. This is your awakened heart. It knows how to love without conditions, to forgive without forgetting, to act without expecting reward. Each breath feeds this flame, and with each exhale, you share its light with the world. The Buddha said, "If you see someone on the road who needs help, offer your hand. If you see someone angry, offer your patience." This is the true path, to walk through the world as peace itself. The awakened heart is not hidden in temples or mountains. It lives in every act of kindness, every moment of mindfulness, even in small gestures. The way you listen to someone, the way you pause before speaking, the way you take one mindful step. Compassion flows quietly. You don't need to announce it, you just need to live it. Ajahn Chah once said, "The heart of the path is simple. Stop doing bad, do good, and purify the mind." That's it. The awakened heart understands this simplicity. It doesn't seek miracles. It becomes one. Now imagine walking through the world with this understanding. You see a child crying and feel tenderness instead of irritation. You see an old man sitting alone and offer a smile. You hear harsh words but respond with calm. You don't need recognition. You don't need thanks. The act itself is fulfillment. The awakened heart acts because it cannot do otherwise. And when the world feels too heavy, remember, the awakened heart also knows rest. Compassion without rest becomes exhaustion. So sit sometimes and breathe. letting love return to silence. As the Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. When you care for your own stillness, your compassion becomes endless. Close your eyes now. Feel the pulse in your chest, strong, gentle, alive. Each heartbeat is the rhythm of the awakened heart. Each breath is its whisper. May all beings be free. May all beings be happy. Let that prayer flow through you. You don't have to say it aloud. The intention itself changes the air around you. You are walking this path already. Each time you choose love over fear, patience over hurry, presence over distraction. You don't need robes, altars, or titles. You only need awareness and kindness. That is the true mark of awakening. The Buddha said, "As a bee gathers nectar and does not harm the flower, so let the wise live in the world." Live gently. Take only what you need and leave beauty wherever you go. That is how the awakened heart walks. The stars are fading now, and the first hint of dawn touches the horizon. The night has been long, but your heart feels light. You have seen emptiness and found love within it. You have learned that wisdom and compassion are not opposites, but reflections of each other. The world is still imperfect, yet somehow perfect in its impermanence. Take a deep breath. The air smells of morning. The ocean glows faintly with new light. Somewhere, a bird begins to sing. You smile, not because everything is easy, but because you finally understand. The awakened heart is not afraid of the world. It embraces it entirely. Tomorrow, we will follow this dawn into the light of everyday life, where the path continues with each mindful step, each kind act, each breath of awareness. But for now, rest, dear one. Let this awakened heart cradle you. Sleep softly. You are the candle, and the world is waiting for your light. As the dawn brightens, a soft golden light begins to spread across the horizon. The long night of stillness gives way to morning. Not a morning of noise, but of renewal. The air tastes pure, as if the entire world has taken a deep breath. You stand at the edge of the ocean, where water meets sky, and realize that you are both. Awareness has become compassion, and compassion has become peace. The Buddha once said, "The gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts." And you understand now what that means. The greatest gift is not what you give away, but what you awaken in others. The awakened heart naturally becomes a lamp for the world, shining not through effort, but through being. When one heart awakens, countless others remember their own light. You look down at your hands, once clenched, now open. These hands that once reached for control now offer stillness. These hands that once tried to grasp the world now carry peace. You realize that even as you stand here, you are giving. Your calm, your awareness, your gentle presence. They ripple outward through the fabric of life, touching unseen lives far beyond your reach. And in that knowing, a smile rises from somewhere deeper than thought. A smile not of triumph, but of tenderness. You feel gratitude not only for the peace you found, but for the journey that led you here. Every storm, every question, every night of searching. Because without them, this dawn would not taste so sweet. The sun now rises, spilling its light across the ocean like liquid fire. The sky becomes gold, and for a moment, everything shines as one. Water, air, light, heart. There is no separation. Only clarity, only peace. And now we will step into this light together, into the unshakable peace that neither night nor storm can dim. The Buddha called it Nibbana, the light that never fades. the light that never fades. The sun has risen, and its light dances softly upon the ocean you've come to know. The horizon no longer separates sea from sky. Only a boundless glow remains. You stand quietly in that light, breathing, watching, simply being. Everything feels whole. Nothing is missing. This is what the Buddha called the unconditioned, the peace beyond birth and death, beyond gain and loss, the light that never fades. The Buddha said, "There is, monks, an unborn, unbecome, unmade, unconditioned. Were there not this unborn, there would be no escape from the born." Those words are not about another world. They are about this moment, when the mind stops grasping and begins to rest in what has always been. You close your eyes, and even with the sun behind them, the light remains. It's not a light of color or fire, but of knowing, the quiet radiance of awareness itself. It does not depend on the eyes to see or the ears to hear. It is what has been witnessing all along. The thoughts, the sounds, the breaths, the journeys, the letting go. This is Nibbana, not a place to reach, but the peace that dawns when nothing more needs to be reached. It is not annihilation, it is completion. The fire of craving, aversion, and ignorance has gone out. Not because life has ended, but because there is no more fuel to burn. What remains is the still flame of wisdom, luminous and infinite. The Buddha said, "The mind, once liberated, shines with a brightness beyond measure." And you begin to feel that brightness, not as excitement, but as serenity. The waves of thought have quieted, the winds of desire have stilled. The world continues, but the mind no longer clings. Imagine walking through a forest after the rain. The air is clear, each leaf sparkling. The ground is soft under your feet. Everything smells new, yet it has always been here. That is what awakening feels like. Not the creation of something new, but the recognition of what has never been lost. You may wonder, how do I live in this peace while still in the world? The Buddha smiled at this very question. He said, "Just as the lotus rises above the water and remains unsoiled, so does the wise live in the world but not of it." To awaken is not to escape life, but to live it fully, with a heart that clings to nothing and embraces everything. In this peace, even sorrow softens. You see that grief and joy are both waves on the same sea. Neither needs to be resisted, because both are part of the movement of life. When you stop trying to hold one and reject the other, you stand in the middle, in balance, in freedom. Take a deep breath. Feel how it enters gently, leaves quietly. This too is a teaching. The inhale is birth. The exhale is death. Between them, a brief stillness, the space of Nibbana. You are breathing the rhythm of existence itself. Ajahn Chah once said, "If you let go completely, you will have complete peace." That peace is not in some distant heaven. It is right here, in the pause between thoughts, in the silence beneath sound, in the awareness that never moves. Look around in your mind's eye. The ocean is still shining. The light touches everything. The sky, the water, the small ripples that rise and fall. You realize that nothing in this world is truly separate. Everything reflects everything else. The Buddha called this Dhammakaya, the body of truth, where all things are one in essence. In that understanding, gratitude arises naturally. You bow, not out of duty, but out of reverence. Reverence for this moment, for this breath, for the countless lives and causes that made it possible. You feel the humility of knowing that you are both the drop and the ocean, both the seeker and the sought. The Buddha said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." And you know now that this peace cannot be spoken. It can only be lived. Every word, every thought, every step that comes from this stillness carries its light. Sometimes, enlightenment is described as a flame that cannot be extinguished. But the Buddha taught it differently. The flame doesn't continue or vanish. It goes out because there is no more fuel. In that going out, there is no darkness, only infinite light. The light that never fades is not something that shines apart from the world. It is what makes seeing possible. You sit quietly as that light expands. It fills your chest, your breath, your mind, the space around you. You realize there is no center to it. It doesn't belong to you or anyone. It simply is. The Buddha called this anupadisesa nibbana, the peace realized while still living, the extinguishing of self-centered fire. In this light, even the idea of enlightenment dissolves. There is no longer you who is peaceful or world that is chaotic, only awareness itself, endlessly aware. The heart that once sought now simply rests, like a flame at peace with its own glow. Stay here for a moment. Let this light breathe through you. It does not require effort. It does not fade with time. It is not bound by body or mind. It is the same light that shines through every being, every leaf, every star. The Buddha said, "There is no fire like passion, no grip like hatred, no net like delusion. But there is also no light like wisdom. That wisdom is here now, in you as you." Soon, you will open your eyes and see the world again. Its colors, its forms, its sounds, but you will see differently. The mind will still think, the body will still move, but the heart will remain free. The peace you feel now is not fragile. It is eternal. It is the peace of knowing that all is well, even when nothing is perfect. Let this light rest deep within you, like a silent sun. When you speak, let it guide your words. When you act, let it guide your steps. When you love, let it remind you that love is not a need but a state of being. This is what it means to awaken fully, not to escape the world, but to illuminate it. And as night returns once more, you will notice the light never truly leaves. It only changes form, from dawn to dusk, from flame to reflection, from awareness to dream. But it is always there, quietly shining. Sleep now, dear one. Not into forgetfulness, but into peace. The journey is complete, and yet it continues in every breath, every act of kindness, every moment of awareness. The light that never fades lives within you, steady, silent, eternal. The morning sun rises higher, painting the sky with soft hues of gold and pearl. You stand where sea and sky meet, and everything, every grain of sand, every glimmer of light, feels sacred. You understand now that enlightenment was never a destination. It was a remembering. You did not travel to peace. You uncovered it. Like clouds parting to reveal the sun, the mind has cleared, and the light was always there. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." You have walked it, through suffering and seeing, through holding and releasing, through night and dawn. Each step, though small, was holy. Every breath, though simple, carried you closer to this moment, the silence that hums with eternity. As you breathe in, feel the world breathing with you. Mountains, rivers, forests, and stars, all are moving in the same rhythm. There is no separation. Even the waves breaking at your feet sound like a heartbeat. Steady, timeless, one. You remember now the first lesson of the Buddha, everything changes. And yet, beneath all change, something unchanging endures. That stillness within you is not fragile. It is the ground of being itself. When the body grows old, the light remains. When the mind quiets, the light shines clearer. When life ends, the light continues, not as yours or mine, but as truth itself. You lift your face toward the sky. The warmth touches your skin, and for a moment, you feel the tenderness of the universe, the same tenderness that made a flower bloom, that shaped the stars, that breathed you into being. This tenderness has no name, no form, no boundary. It is love without condition, the silent compassion of existence itself. In this moment, you realize there is nothing to become, nowhere to go, no one to be. The path and the destination are the same. You are the stillness, the breath, the light. The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." And so you close your eyes once more, not to escape the world, but to rest in it. The ocean whispers softly. The wind carries the scent of earth and salt. The sun rests upon your face like a blessing. Everything is as it should be. Let this awareness cradle you. Let it move through your dreams. When you wake, carry it quietly, in your voice, your touch, your presence. You are no longer searching for the light. You are the light. The path has come full circle. The night, the dawn, the journey, all are one endless moment of awakening. The light that never fades shines through you, and through you, it will illuminate the world. The gentle flame. The day has quietly begun. The first rays of morning filter through the trees, touching the earth with warmth that feels both ancient and new. You breathe deeply, and the air smells of life, of beginnings. Around you, the world hums softly. Birds, footsteps, the distant rhythm of human life awakening once again. You are no longer sitting by the ocean or beneath the Bodhi tree. You are here, in the world, exactly where you are meant to be. And yet, something has changed. The stillness you found within the night has not disappeared. It lives inside you now. A gentle flame burning quietly at the center of your being. You realize that awakening is not the end of the story. It is the light that begins another. The Buddha said, "Better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Then the victory is yours, but cannot be taken from you." You have tasted that victory, not over others, but over confusion, fear, and restlessness. Now the path is no longer about seeking peace in silence, but keeping peace in motion. As you move through the day, you notice how easily the mind wants to return to habit. The phone rings, traffic hums, the world rushes forward. The flame wavers slightly, but it does not go out. You smile because you know now. The flame was never meant to burn away the wind. It was meant to shine through it. You remember the words of the Buddha. Just as a candle does not lose its flame by lighting another, so a wise person does not lose peace by sharing it. You carry this truth like a lantern as you step into the world. A friend speaks in anger. You listen, not to react, but to understand. The gentle flame glows warmer. A stranger frowns in impatience. You breathe and the moment softens. A task feels heavy. You slow down, bringing awareness to your breath. The weight lightens. These are small acts, invisible to most, yet they shape the world. Compassion does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Stillness does not mean still life. It means living with grace in motion. Imagine a candle in a bustling marketplace. People pass, winds swirl, voices rise. The candle flickers, but it does not go out. The light it casts may be small, but to the weary traveler, it is enough to see by. To live with awareness is to be that candle, humble, steady, quietly luminous. The Buddha said, "Whatever words we utter should be chosen with care, for people will hear them and be influenced by them for good or ill." You begin to notice your words now, how each syllable carries energy. A kind tone becomes a bridge. A mindful pause becomes understanding. You also learn to care for your own flame. Even a lamp needs oil. When you rest, rest completely. When you eat, eat with gratitude. When you breathe, breathe as though each inhale is your first, and each exhale your last. The awakened heart does not hurry. It trusts the rhythm of life. At times, you may forget. The mind will wander, the heart will tighten, the world will seem loud again. But now, you know the way home. You know that one deep breath can return you to stillness. Awareness is never lost. It only waits for your attention. The Buddha taught, just as the ocean has only one taste, the taste of salt, so does my teaching have one taste, the taste of freedom. Freedom is not found in retreating from the world, but in being fully present within it. Walking down a crowded street, you sense the pulse of humanity, so many lives, hopes, fears, and dreams all interwoven. For a moment, compassion floods you. You realize that every face you pass is carrying an unseen story, just as you once carried yours. The heart opens effortlessly. The gentle flame within becomes a lantern for others. Sometimes, your light will feel small. Sometimes it will flicker. That's all right. The Buddha reminded his disciples, even a single candle can cast light in the darkest night. What matters is not how bright the light appears, but that it continues to shine. At dusk, as the sun begins to set, you pause and watch the sky change colors, gold melting into rose, rose into indigo. You remember the stillness of your own heart and realize this beauty, this peace, this life, it's all the same flame, taking different forms. Ajahn Chah once said, when you understand, things are just as they are. When you don't understand, things are just as they are. You smile, feeling the truth in those words. Awareness doesn't make life easier. It makes it clearer. It doesn't erase challenges. It transforms how you meet them. You return home and light a small candle. Its flame wavers gently in the quiet room. You sit beside it, breathing slowly, feeling the calm spread through your chest. This light, this tiny flame, is the same awareness that has carried you through every moment, seen and unseen. You realize now that the light of awakening is not a blazing sun. It is this simple glow that never abandons you. Outside, night falls again. The city hums with life, yet somewhere within, everything is still. The candle flickers softly, its flame reflecting in your eyes. You bow your head in silent gratitude for the teachers, for the path, for the simple miracle of being alive in this very moment. The Buddha said, all things that have form are impermanent, but he who sees this truth is free from sorrow. You know now that impermanence is not something to fear. It is the gentle breeze that keeps the flame alive. Change is what allows light to move. Before you sleep, you whisper softly, may this flame burn in kindness. May this peace spread in silence. May this moment continue in love. The flame wavers once, twice, then steadies, a quiet vow glowing in the darkness. And as you drift into rest, the candle continues to shine, small, humble, eternal. The gentle flame of your awakened heart, carrying its light into the night. The night grows deeper, but the flame still dances softly, its golden light shimmering against the quiet walls. You notice how its glow reaches the corners of the room. Not rushing, not striving, simply being. The Buddha said, just as the fragrance of flowers drifts with the wind, so the goodness of a virtuous person spreads in all directions. The light does not try to shine. It shines because it is light, and so does peace. It moves without intention, touching all things silently. You sit there, breathing with the candle's rhythm, realizing that everything it touches becomes softer. The shadows, the air, even your thoughts. Awareness has become warmth. Warmth has become presence. You are no longer the one holding the light. The light is holding you. Outside, someone laughs. A car passes. A distant dog barks. Life continues, imperfect yet beautiful. You smile, knowing that peace was never meant to erase the world's noise, only to teach you how to listen differently. The awakened heart does not seek silence. It carries silence wherever it goes. You close your eyes, and the glow lingers behind your eyelids, a pulse of golden calm that moves with your breath. You realize this flame will never die, because it is not made of wax or fire, but of awareness itself. Even when you sleep, its warmth remains, spreading unseen through your words, your thoughts, your quiet acts of kindness. Tomorrow, you will step into the world again, into laughter and traffic, into conversation and confusion, and the gentle flame will go with you. Every breath will carry its light. Every action will echo its calm. The Buddha said, "If you light a lamp for another, it will also brighten your own path." And so, as the flame flickers one last time before sleep, you whisper, "May this light travel where I cannot. May it comfort those who are weary. May it remind all beings, peace is possible." Then, as the final ember fades, you feel no darkness, only the quiet afterglow of a promise kept. The gentle flame continues, unseen but eternal, becoming the first echo of peace. Echoes of peace. The night fades slowly and morning returns. Light spills gently through the window, brushing across your face. The candle that burned through the night has melted down to a small pool of wax, but its warmth still lingers in the air. You can feel it, that soft, invisible hum that peace leaves behind. It is said that when the Buddha walked, grass grew greener where his feet touched the earth. Whether myth or truth, the image carries something deeper, a reminder that peace is not still. It moves quietly through everything it meets. You rise, stretch, and step outside. The world greets you as it always has. Cars pass, birds call, people hurry. Yet everything feels different now. The same sounds, but softer. The same faces, but somehow kinder. It isn't the world that changed, it's the way you see it. The Buddha said, "Whatever we frequently think and dwell upon, that will become the inclination of the mind." And you realize, as you walk, that peace too becomes a habit. The more you return to it, the more it echoes outward, carried through your tone, your gaze, your smallest actions. You pass a stranger who seems lost in thought. You smile. They blink, startled, then smile back. A simple exchange, nothing dramatic, but something invisible shifts. The air between you softens, and that softness ripples outward. In this way, peace begins to travel. Through gestures, through silence, through presence. You may never know how far it goes. You may never see the flower bloom from the seed you plant, but you can trust that it will. Ajahn Chah once said, "When one person cultivates peace, the whole world benefits." The awakened heart doesn't preach. It vibrates. Its calm becomes a tuning fork for other hearts still trembling in the noise of life. You remember the Buddha's words, "As the fragrance of flowers drifts with the wind, so the goodness of a virtuous person spreads in all directions." The scent of peace, once released, cannot be contained. Even when you forget it, it keeps moving, carried by the breath of others. You stop at a cafe and sit quietly by the window. Around you, conversations weave together. Laughter, frustration, dreams, complaints. The world hums with stories. You don't need to change them. You just listen. Awareness itself is enough. A gentle presence can shift an entire room without a single word. There's a man nearby arguing softly on the phone. His face is tense. You don't interfere. You simply breathe slowly, wishing him well in your heart. May you find calm. May you be free from anger. Something inside you whispers this, not as a prayer to change him, but as a natural expression of kindness. And then, without effort, the man sighs, lowers his voice, and begins to speak more softly. Perhaps coincidence, or perhaps this is how peace works, unseen, subtle, but real. The Buddha said, "Hatred never ceases by hatred, but only by love. This is an eternal law." You've heard it before, but now you live it. You begin to understand that peace is not fragile. It's resilient. It's not silence that avoids conflict, but clarity that dissolves it. When you go home that evening, the day feels lighter than it began. You didn't solve the world's problems, but somehow the world seems gentler. The echo of peace is not in grand gestures. It's in the spaces between moments. The pause before speaking. The kindness in your eyes. The patience in your breath. You light another candle and sit quietly beside it. Its flame reflects in the window, doubling its light. You think of all the people you've met today. The tired cashier, the laughing child, the anxious friend. Each one is a mirror of your own heart, searching for rest. You whisper softly, "May you all be happy. May you all be free." And as those words settle into silence, you feel something expanding beyond yourself. A quiet wave that seems to stretch across the city, across oceans, across time. It carries no effort, no will, no name. It is simply peace remembering itself through you. You recall the story of the Buddha and a monk who once asked, "How far does the influence of loving kindness reach?" The Buddha replied, "It knows no boundary." In that moment you realize peace has no owner. It flows where it is welcome, and it is always welcome in a gentle heart. Later, you step outside again. The stars are scattered across the darkening sky. The wind moves softly through the trees, carrying the faint scent of jasmine. You listen, and it feels as if the world is breathing with you. Each sound, each breeze, each distant laugh feels like an echo returning. You gave peace to the world, and now it returns to you multiplied. Not as reward, but as rhythm. Giving and receiving are the same motion. The Buddha said, "Just as the moon, freed from clouds, shines brightly, so too does the peaceful mind shine when freed from desire." You smile, feeling that truth deep in your chest. The light you once sought has become the light you share. The flame within you has become countless reflections. In windows, in eyes, in hearts you may never meet. As you lie down to rest, the air feels still, yet alive. You close your eyes, and in the quiet you hear it, not the hum of the world, but the echo of your own peace returning. It sounds like wind through trees, like laughter in distance, like your own breath falling into perfect rhythm with life itself. You understand now that peace was never meant to stay within one person. It was always meant to travel, from heart to heart, from word to word, from one moment of awareness to another. And though you cannot see where it goes, you know it never ends. You whisper softly before sleep, "May all beings everywhere be free from fear. May they find rest. May peace echo through every heart." The words fade into the darkness, carried by the breath of the universe, a prayer without beginning or end. And as the candle's last light flickers out, you realize something beautiful. Silence is not the absence of peace. It is peace fully arrived. Sleep, dear one. The echoes will continue, soft, steady, eternal, until even the stars hum with the same calm that lives within you. The night deepens again, but something within you feels brighter than ever. You realize that peace does not belong to night or day, silence or sound. It moves beneath them all, steady as breath, wide as the sky. What began as a single candle has become countless stars reflected on the surface of the world. The Buddha said, "One who is peaceful in mind is not born, does not die, and is not shaken by the winds of the world." You feel this now. A still center that no storm can touch. The echoes of peace you've sent out are no longer leaving you. They are circling back, folding into one vast rhythm. You and the world are breathing together. You lie still and listen. The sound of your heartbeat merges with the sound of distant life. Waves, wind, the unseen pulse of everything. Awareness expands until even the boundary between self and silence disappears. You begin to sense that peace has no direction, no beginning, no end. It's not something you create or share. It's something that simply is, just as the moon reflects the sun without effort. Peace reflects itself endlessly through every living thing. In this moment, you understand. There is no longer before or after. There is only now, the same now that holds the first breath of the world and the last sigh of every life. Timeless, patient, radiant. We will step fully into that stillness, the eternal now, where time becomes presence and presence becomes eternity. But for tonight, rest in this knowing. Every echo of peace returns home to silence, and that silence is love. The eternal now. The night is still. The world has fallen silent. The echoes of peace have traveled far, across hearts, across time, across the spaces between stars. And now they return to where they began. To you, to this breath, to this moment. You are lying quietly, eyes half closed, the air cool against your skin. The mind has slowed. The body has softened. The flame that once flickered, the light that once wandered, has settled into a gentle glow behind your heart. There is nothing to hold, nothing to seek. There is only now, vast, timeless, complete. The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." And as you breathe, you understand what he meant. That peace is never in what was or what might be, but only in what is. This moment is the meeting place of all things. The first dawn, the last dusk, the breath of the universe becoming yours. You notice how everything happens here. The sound of the wind, the slow rhythm of your heart, the rise and fall of thought. It all unfolds within this single, infinite moment. Time, you realize, is just the mind's way of measuring movement. Awareness has no clock. Once, you believed you were moving toward awakening, as if it were somewhere else. But now you see, you were never going anywhere. You were always here, walking in circles around the same truth, that the present is the only eternity there is. Imagine a drop of water falling into the ocean. For an instant, it ripples, distinct, individual, and then it becomes the sea. That is you. The sense of I dissolves into something boundless, unmeasured. You are not lost. You are home. The Buddha said, "Within this very fathom-long body lies the world, the arising of the world, and the cessation of the world." He was not speaking in symbols. He was pointing to the simple truth that everything you seek already lives within you. Each breath contains the rise and fall of the cosmos. Each heartbeat is the drum of eternity. Close your eyes and listen. The stillness is not empty. It is full. Beneath the quiet, there is a hum, like the sound of infinite wings beating gently through space. That sound is awareness itself, the echo of being. You can feel it in your bones, in your blood, in the space between thoughts. The past arises as a memory, then fades. The future appears as a thought, then dissolves. Between them is the vast sky of now, open, endless, free. The Buddha said, "There is no path to peace. Peace is the path." You understand now that the path was never a line to walk, but a way to see. You take a breath, slow, deep, sacred. The air fills your chest and flows through your body like golden light. For a moment, you sense the life of every being breathing with you, the same rhythm, the same song. When you exhale, it is as if the whole universe sighs with relief. Awareness becomes tender. Even thought feels holy. You no longer try to stop the mind. You simply let it rest in its natural flow, like clouds drifting across the sky. The Buddha taught, let go of what has passed. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Beyond letting go, find the stillness of your heart. And you do. You find it, not by effort, but by ease. The heart opens like a lotus, its petals unfolding into the vastness of now. There is no sound, yet you hear everything. There is no motion, yet you feel life moving through all things. In this space, awareness begins to shimmer, soft, golden, limitless. You are not aware of anything. You are awareness itself, the mirror that holds all reflections without clinging to them. You have become the watcher and the watched, the breath and the stillness, the wave and the sea. You realize that what the Buddha called nibbana, the end of suffering, is not a distant realm. It is this clear, simple moment when the mind ceases to fight what is. When you stop resisting, peace rushes in like the tide returning to shore. The night deepens, but you no longer measure time. The stars above seem closer, as if bowing to the quiet in your heart. Every sound has softened, the whisper of air, the faint rustle of sheets, until even sound and silence are one. You remember the Buddha's words, "There is no fire like passion, no grip like hatred, no snare like delusion, but there is also no peace like the stillness of understanding." That stillness fills you now. It feels like light resting on water, so gentle that you forget where one ends and the other begins. The boundaries of your body dissolve. You no longer feel skin or bone, only space. The mind floats freely, like a leaf on a clear lake. Everything is clear. Everything is enough. For a moment, thought arises. Is this enlightenment? And immediately, a soft laughter ripples through the silence, the laughter of recognition. Enlightenment was never something to get. It is what remains when the search ends. The Buddha said, when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. You breathe again, slower now. Each breath feels like the pulse of eternity moving through form. You see how every moment of your life, every joy, every sorrow, has been the same teaching in different disguise. The invitation to return, again and again, to now. If you listen closely, you can hear the rhythm of this truth in the world. Around you, the turning of the earth, the beating of a distant heart, the soft waves against the shore, all of it murmurs the same mantra. Now, now, and now. Awareness is not separate from these sounds. It is these sounds. The universe is awake, and you are its quiet gaze. The Buddha said, just as the full moon is freed from clouds, so the mind is freed when wisdom arises. And in this moment, you are that moon, shining effortlessly, illuminating without thought. The light is not yours, it is you. You can rest here. There is nothing left to fix, nothing to chase, nothing to become. Everything you have ever loved, lost, or longed for exists right here in this breath. You whisper softly, almost without words. May I rest in this knowing. May all beings find this peace. May awareness awaken everywhere. The words melt into silence. There is no prayer and no one praying, only love, only being. Sleep now, dear one, not the sleep of forgetting, but the sleep of remembering. Remembering what you have always been. Awareness without edge, peace without condition, the eternal now breathing through all things. And as the night stretches endlessly above you, the light within your chest shines steady, gentle, golden, unchanging. The journey is complete. The search has dissolved. Only stillness remains. Only love remains. Only now. Dear one, as the final notes fade and the silence deepens, take a soft breath. In and out. Let everything that has carried you through this night melt into stillness. The words, the stories, the teachings, they have done their work. Now, there is only peace. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." And here you are, resting in that peace, the kind that doesn't depend on the world being quiet, only on your heart being open. You have walked through the gentle path of healing. You have seen your mind as sky and your thoughts as clouds. You have learned to love what comes and to release what goes. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to fix, only to rest and remember. Remember this, you were never broken. You were simply waiting to remember your wholeness. Each breath has been a doorway home, so tonight, may your breath be soft. May your body be at ease. May your dreams bloom in kindness. If pain still whispers, cradle it in compassion. If loneliness visits, let it sit beside you and watch how it softens in the light of awareness. If gratitude arises, let it fill the room. The world may not know that you are here, breathing quietly in the dark, but your stillness is not small. Every calm heart sends ripples far beyond its walls. The Buddha said, "As the fragrance of flowers drifts with the wind, so the goodness of a peaceful heart spreads in all directions." Your peace is a gift. Your rest is an offering. And in your sleep, the universe breathes easier. May you heal deeply. May your compassion grow wide. May your sleep be peaceful and kind. And when the morning light returns, may you wake not in hurry, but in wonder. May your first breath remind you, peace was never lost. It was always here. If ever the world grows loud again, remember this place, this quiet space between words, this sanctuary where you can return any time to rest and remember. You are always welcome here. If this moment has brought you calm, stay close. Let this channel be your refuge, a soft corner of the world where healing, compassion, and rest still exist. When you subscribe, you're not joining a channel. You're joining a circle of calm, souls across oceans, breathing together, remembering together, choosing peace again and again. So if this light has touched you tonight, keep it alive. Share it gently, as one candle lights another. Because the more we share this stillness, the brighter the world becomes. And if you ever need to return, to breathe, to rest, to remember who you are, we will be here, waiting in the quiet, whispering the same truth the Buddha taught. You are the peace you seek. Now, sleep deeply. Let the earth hold you. Let the breath guide you. Let the stars watch over you. The journey continues in your dreams. Quiet, endless, kind. The light within you is eternal. The compassion within you is boundless. And the peace within you, it is the very breath of the universe. Good night, dear one. Until next time. May your nights be calm, your heart gentle, and your soul free.